Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fireside. We have the start of Invite Playoffs. It's going to be Rome versus FGP. My name's Tcmano. I am joined by the amazing number one rocker. We've got Dr. Underscore on production for what might be an epic best of three against these two hotly contested teams. Going to be going Sunshine, Bagel, and maybe a third map if we get to it. So stay tuned for that. Number one, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite all right. This is a match I've been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to casting FGP this whole season, so I mean, I'm glad to finally be here and I'm glad to be back in the booth with you. So yeah, I'm ready to get started.
Definitely, I feel the exact same way. I have had the extreme pleasure of being able to cast some FGP games in the past. Actually, there one against Rome, and it was quite the battle. I don't think it went all three maps, but it was exciting nonetheless. These teams have a little bit of history. Darty was previously on the FGP roster back when this team was still in advanced. They had almost the exact same lineup, except they swapped out Darty for Scouty, or Darty actually left of his own accord, and he found a home on Rome, who are now entering their second season of Invite. So these teams still very new to Invite. I mean, this is the first season for a majority of the people on FGP and Rome. It's only their second season collectively as a team, but still, regardless, they've been going back and forth, and it's exciting to see some nice close matches, even if it is in the lower Invite. But playoffs are here. Things are official. And I think even though, playoffs is double elam, both these teams are going to be wanting to win this match because that they want at least the bragging rights of, saying they beat their friends.
hmm Yeah, and this the match tonight determines whether or not they go on. The loser is out, so yeah, they're going to be having to fight real hard. And yeah, as far as not being an invite for a very long time, a lot of these guys didn't even really want to be an invite. They didn't think they would be, and the fact that they've come this far and they're playing a lot of TF2 lately, especially FGP, man, like just insane amounts for not even considering invite for the season. So I mean, hats off to them for carrying it on for so long and coming to these playoffs. So I mean, hopefully we see some strong fighting from both teams.
Yes, definitely. I do want to quickly mention that Fireside. It's a great place. I always shout out producers Jay, Doctor Underscore Antlers at the end, but you can help make their burden a bit easier by supporting Fireside through Fourth Wall. You can
hmm
pledge a monthly membership. You can receive awesome perks such as channel VIP access to unreleased videos, Fireside content, and more. Supporting them allows the pursuit of further content and broadcast coordination. Type !subscribe. You can subscribe today, and it's always important to shout that out because these guys do so much amazing work. But speaking, like you said, of amazing work, both of these teams actually have some merchandise that you can get through Fireside number one if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's not just in TF2. They have a battle of the merch going on tonight. I guess we got Rome and FGP merch. Uh, Rome has stuff with their logo on it. Proceeds go to their upcoming LAN expenses. If you type !Rome to buy their merch, you can also give it away in the Twitch chat if you're feeling generous. And same thing, more or less, for FGP. Type !FGP to grab their merch and sport it and show your love for either team. And probably going to be seeing a lot of fanboying in the chat for both sides, a lot of point betting. And I hear Throne has already suspiciously bet his points in favor of Rome. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, I don't think there are any rules against Twitch skewing Twitch points betting results. So I think he's in the clear if he does. But either way, it's something that Twitch might need to get onto if he walks away winning big tonight. But yeah, I guess he's setting himself up future proofing because he's gonna win big either way. Either he wins. The best of three, or he wins big in the Fireside Twitch chat. I'm sure those are two equally um, hopeful outcomes that he's hoping for. But I guess we can quickly run down the rosters real quick. I'll take over Rome, and I'll
Sure.
give you FGP. We got Frisbee, Scuba Steve. Those are going to be the two soldiers. Vio and Legacy going to be the two scouts. Legacy, aka Darty,
hmm
as you probably know him as. We've got Mig on demo, Gadilly on medic. It should be important to note out that Vio and Frisbee, I believe, have been playing together for so many seasons now. They were previously on the Sweaty Spaghetti roster that kind of rose to fame, winning in newcomer and amateur, and then making their way through IM and main. They reformed as Rome and advanced, and now they've stuck together, those two as a duo. And it's great to see people sticking together, kind of keeping on a little bit of legacy, even though that's Darty
Uh-huh.
kind of together. But another team that has stuck together pretty much the same is FGP. If you want to run down that roster.
Yeah, indeed. On scouts, we've got Scouty, of course, and Magic on the soldiers. We got Frosty on the pocket soldier and Throne on Roamer. Draco's going to be coming up on demo, and we do actually have Rave AC here tonight on Medic. It was kind of a bit of a sketchy proposition to see if he would be here or if it would be Footsocks taking over, but he is in the server, so we're going to see him coming out strong.
Yes, and seeing these teams play last time, one thing I was extremely I guess we can talk about the maps a little bit. First map is going to be Sunshine. One thing that I think really contributed to FGP's win was Throne and Scouty. Those two,
Hmm.
they pushed flank so much and they got behind as a duo like fairly consistently. And even if they didn't get behind, they at least got trades that would help their team and cause a little bit of chaos. So I think for Rome to adapt tonight, that's definitely something that they've got to try and work at, because this is FGP's map pick. They decided to pick Sunshine. Rome picking Bagel, which I don't think was played last time these two teams faced, but at least on Sunshine, FGP been kind of looking strong on it all season. Against every kind of team they played, and it's kind of been their bread and butter. As we do have one team readying up. What are your kind of predictions, at least for this first specific map, number one?
I don't know. Rome's done well against FGP in the past, but yeah, like you said, this is FGP's map, and it's a map that I mean I've played with a lot of these guys before in FGP in pugs, and so I think just all the repetitions will allow them to just have that little bit of an edge just from sheer exposure. But as far as predictions, I'll go 4-2 for FGP after 30 minutes.
All right, 4-2. I think I'm going to do something similar. I think FGP are going to be able to walk away with it, at least on this first map.
Hmm.
And I think it's going to be a 3-1, two kind of slower games. But regardless, they're going to be able to walk out as the victors, as still going to be waiting out for them. One thing I guess what we do have to point out is last time these two teams faced, it was on Metalworks and then
Oh
Process.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember now.
we're not going to see either of those two maps tonight, but one thing that did kind of come into play and has kind of been a little bit of the X factor for FGP has been Scouty on Sniper.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, if it's going to be a slowed down game, it's going to be because he's controlling the pace with Sniper. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he's been really, really good with it. I think he's a invite Highlander sniper. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But he's definitely proved his ability on it in this invite season, hitting some fairly clean shots. As we are going to be going live here, so we're going to see if here someone else comes up big in this first game of invite playoffs. Rome versus FGP. Going to be fighting to stay in it, and also for bragging rights, as we're going to be watching these two teams go live on this first mid-year number one.
Indeed. I am sticking. No, never mind. I'm not going to watch Frosty. He's slow and roll out. So Draco getting the mid pretty early. Thrones laying out some spam across into choke, but actually Rome rolled out through Valley. Pretty standard stuff. Here comes the bomb now from Soldier. Frosty getting some early spam on. Gets taken down to the back line though. Or getting taken down on the back line by Bio. And now early cap time for FGP's come back. Steve caught underneath point. Will get cleaned up. And actually, yeah, it's looking like an FGP mid. Frosty managed to live the entire time, so nobody dies, and down both soldiers for Rome as they head into the second.
Yeah, they are going to get into second. So many weak players on Rome. We see Legacy and Mig trying to leave through dungeon. They are going to successfully do so. Frosty does die in lobby, so that's going to halt the aggression from FGP for the moment. Good thing for Rome. They were able to keep Gadilli alive, even though they were all funneling out through Valley there. So because he was able to stay alive, it is going to be an even Uber scenario on last, providing them a little bit of stability. Engineer comes up, and now the question is, how do FGP want to try and break this first even Uber stalemate of the game? Going to be making their way into lobby, going to try and dodge for spam, and we might see some soldiers try and spam out the sentry gun before they go for a sack, or we might just see Scouty run in and go on that sniper that we were talking about earlier, number one.
I think that's the more likely prospect, honestly, because, well, I say that Frisbee was laying out some good spam, but here comes Throne in from Dungeon, getting blasted away. Now clearing some space. Scouty's trying to edge his way in, but he's going to think better of it as the bomb comes in from Frisbee. Throne in the meantime going to take down Scumbag Steve, and so yeah, there's a pick they can work with.
Yeah, that is a pick to work with. I do also want to say Scuba Steve, last time these teams played on Bagel, went so huge, and that's definitely a player to look out for on the Rome squad. But like you said, FGP, they do have a player opening, but they're not going to really do much with it. Throne now does go in, but goes in a little bit late. The sentry gun is taken down, but Throne dies in the meanwhile. So by the time that he comes up, and that sentry gun is almost immediately back up. Who is that? Darty doing well to keep that nice and alive. We do have Rome pressuring through lobby just a little bit, maybe trying to see if they could send someone in behind, but they have decided not to, and we've got it. That's right, it's Scouty up on Sniper.
Yeah, I think he wanted to die initially because he got jumped on from lower and almost did go down. He left with 51 HP, but he thought, you know what, screw it. I'll just walk all the way back and come up on Sniper. And there we go, like we said, just controlling that pace, slowing it down. It's about 2 minutes, a little bit over 2 minutes left. Actually, Scouty going down immediately.
Yeah, and there's a soldier super deep into lobby. That was Frisbee. Did get a good bit of damage. And but it's going to be 2 trades going in the favor of FGP. They might get a third. The Uber has actually been used in lobby. Both Ubers going to be expended a little bit better for the side of Rome. They flash them a little bit more, but Kadili's going to get stuck up against the corner. That's going to be a medic down now. FGP, they can roll in here, or they can decide to wait for the Uber ad that they're guaranteed to get here because Rave was able to stay alive. Looks like they're taking their time here and probably opting to play that Uber as Kadili now just respawns number one.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted to kind of roll in, but I think that sentry was the one thing keeping them back because otherwise, you know, they could have just rolled right in. But then Rome did a nice job of stabilizing and preventing the flood through. And yeah, I think the better thing to do, because they have it right now, about 40 Uber advantage, just go with that. Why try to force it? You know, you've got 60 seconds left, 70 seconds left. Just go with probably the last Uber of the round. If you can't get it, we'll just try to go for the reset, then screw it.
Exactly, and you can always force Rome into an uncomfortable position of trying to push out of your last, but the Uber does come in through Dungeon, is going to be used. Draco getting flung high in the sky. The sentry gun does get taken down. No picks converted just quite as of yet. A lot of damage, though, and now finally players are going to start to fall on Rome. So many going down. It's only going to be 2 up and alive, but it's going to be a 2v2. They do take 1. Can Throne clutch it out? It does some damage to Vio, but Vio is going to go down. He connects a nice rocket, but he's so weak. I think Mig should be able to hold this. Throne does go in. He's dead, but he gets it.
Yeah, there was just so much time early on put onto the point that all they had to do was just keep pressuring that fact. And yeah, down to the 1v2, he got the scout. All he had to do was really just back up the demo and just cap up the rest of the time. That's exactly what he did. He had the equalizer out and he intimidated him off the point with that, and it's going to be the first point for FGP.
That is going to be the first round for FGP. Throne clutching it out, sneaking out that cap, like you said, because of the previously gained cap time being so much for FGP now. We're going to have another mid. Last time it was Frosty going behind through Valley. Let's see if something similar happens. Just going to be bombing around, trying to control this bell tower. Frosty looks like he is going to be able to get in behind through Valley if he wants to, but teams are starting to rotate around. Rome going to be trying to take the space on the right side. Scouty fairly weak. Looks like Darty wanted to try and collect that pick, but now it's going to be a bomb from Frosty. Yet again he goes, but he is going to get cleaned up in Valley. So now teams on the opposite side of the map from where their spawns are. So it's going to be a bit of a dangerous scenario if either one wants to try and escape cleanly. Looks like they are just going to be able to try and rotate out. That is FGP. They're kind of at the back, but nice bomb from the soldiers. Going to get the force and a nice connected rocket onto Scout. He's going to take him down out of the sky.
And yeah, Mig had a nice pipe on a magic there in Valley as well. Took him down. And so yeah, both scouts down for FGP. Massive positional advantage. They're already rolling through FGP's second. And Throne goes down in the meantime. So yeah, what a swing in momentum. Rome's coming out with their first haymaker of the match. Looking like they want to roll through lower through Dungeon with that Uber. And here they come with the scout demo Uber. forcing FGP back in. Gun will go down momentarily. Soldier spamming in from the top right. Frosty comes in to lock up the doorways, but there's just a scout standing for free on the point. He's got to come back and help his team. Heavy finally comes out. 3 down for the Rome side now. Getting forced out of lobby, and Gadilli barely escaping with his life and 30% Uber. But Rave with 80 of his own. FGP going to be coming out, thrown, clearing the way for his team, spamming them out, seeing them out, and getting the second cap for his team. But full spawns for Rome.
Yes, full spawns for Rome. Good job from Gadilli to get out there, but even better hold from FGP, like you said, to deny that aggression from Rome. They're going to be going in through Cafe with their own Uber advantage. They don't want to use here if they don't have to, and it looks like they're going to be able to avoid most of a spam, but with Throne going down there, that's going to call into question whether they're going to be able to do so convincingly. Now Soldier does bomb on to Rave. He is going to have to use their really great stuff from one of his soldiers to stay alive. Frisbee actually does get Frosty, does try to chase him out of Valley, and as things have swung so well in the favor of Rome, they were able to get the Uber Force out, get some picks, and now they're going to be making their way on to second and maybe even last number 1.
Yeah, Scumbag Steve, he was fighting Scotty pretty much that entire Uber exchange on middle, just keeping him from going to mid to help his teammate, and he lived for so long he actually managed to catch Rave as he was escaping out of his second onto last, and now Uber being popped off finally by Gadilli. Coming in here, 2 down, however, minus a demo for Rome, but I don't think they're going to need all of that, but actually no, Rome comes in from the low ground and clears them all a point with the help of Magic on Heavy. That's a wipe, but for all but one. Here comes Scumbag Steve in lobby, getting the pick and running out, but he's got a Scott hot on his tail and cleaned up by Magic, and just like that, another swing of momentum for FGP. Gonna cap out their second, but all but one denied, so not a whole lot to go off of. Frosty's up on Spy, and Rave with about 40 Uber percentage. Now as Frisbee comes sailing over the top of Valley, gets knocked up and finished off by Nestle.
Nice
Pop air shot on Throne, and Frosty with some frags of his own, and Draco collecting 2 with the stickies and the pipes. Oh man, just 2 up now for Rome, and just in the blink of an eye, they all spawn up, and just like that, they're all dead.
Oh, they're chasing so deep. Oh, Cadilli's so low. He's going to be able to stay alive, I think, just rounds about it. But yeah, FGP were able to just mulch them in that second area and continue forward. Yeah.
Like 2 waves of mulching back to back, dude. That is some great aggression. Speaking of aggression, here comes a double soldier bomb on the Rave. Popped up. Doesn't get taken down. Oh, finally pops up the Uber, almost drops to the sticky, and now as the chase comes down through, Shutter with the double scout Uber. Meeting Gadilli lobby. He's not 90% Uber. We'll have it pretty soon. Vio taking down Magic, and now it's looking like a rust spot for FGP and lobby. Getting mulched all their own. And Uber in the hands of Gadilli, now just Draco and Frosty left alive. Frosty's coming in from the lower lobby, looking to make some plays here. Actually, no, decides to retreat. Takes the medium health pack and just leaves back to mid through Valley.
Yeah, it was a bit too eager from FGP. They chased a little bit too deep, stayed a little bit too long, and they got caught out because of it. Great re-aggression from the side of Rome, trying to equalize things on the board, because even though 10 minutes have passed, only 1 round gone in the favor of FGP, and we do have a sniper out on the field. It's Scouty. Going to be trying to see if he can connect a shot, but is going to be able to stay alive and head back. Draco gets a nice pick onto the demo, taken down, so that's going to definitely halt things. And with Frosty getting a nice pick onto Frisbee, looks like FGP want to get out of here onto second, maybe trying to stop them from even getting the cap, which they are going to be able to do so. Scuba Steve is down, and the only players up and alive are going to be Darty and Gadilli, who leave out the Valley to meet up with the respawner in MiG. So once again, it's just momentum swings back and forth, number 1.
Yeah, it's a real tug of war, and I think the reason why Rome popped that Uber super early through Valley is they might have gotten a sniff of Scouty on Sniper, so they just didn't want to risk getting the drop, and they kind of chased a little bit too far to try to get the picks, and then FGP collapsed right back on top of him and wiped him to all but 2 men yet again. And here comes the bomb in from Throne onto Platt onto Frisbee, getting chopped down to size, and we'll go down to Darty in the meantime. But Frosty looking low, gets jumped by Scumbag Steve from lower, and down both soldiers for FGP. And Uber in the hands of Ray, but Gadilli's Uber is evening out with him.
Yeah, Gadilli's Uber is now up, so Rome, they might be feel a bit bold and try and get in here. Yeah, that is going to be a soldier making his way on top of Bell. The Uber does come out from Rome. The counter Uber used for from FGP. It's a trade looking a little bit better for FGP. They
Oh
have locked
yeah.
out a scout. Poor Darty is going to get shot down by Magic and Scouty. We do have a soldier in by Cafe. It's only going to be Frisbee. He's going to have to back out as now all eyes are on him from the FGP squad. And it looks like they're going to be making their way in through choke just a little bit, trying to peek and see if they can get any ground here. Technically, things are even, but still a sniper up. That's going to be Vio changing all the way back. And because of that, so much space given to FGP, they're going to be able to take up second. And now it looks like they might try and they stabilize, and we might have a player in behind. Yep, it's Scuba Steve.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna want to deal with him because he's just jumping around being a havoc and a nuisance. And that Uber on mid, it looked like it should have gone Rome's way because they popped second, but I mean, just way better positional advantage for FGP. Just really asserted that dominance and caught up the scout as he was trying to leave. And so yeah, FGP on Rome's second yet again. And Scumbag Steve finally goes back down in the back lines with Vio back up on Sniper and Darty's on Engineer.
Yep, and now they do have a man advantage FGP. They've worked their way fearlessly all the way to Rome's last. It's been back and forth, but now they're given the opportunity to try and close it out. Thrown. Unfortunately, that's not going to be how they close it out. He jumps into a sentry gun, gets denied. They do get the counter in Frisbee, or Frisbee tries to counter himself. Both soldiers not getting much of anything at all, so we're just going to have to wait until they respawn. Vio, however, is up on the sniper, maybe kind of predicting that he's going to be in a little bit of an SVS situation from Scouty, who is indeed running back as Throne holds open the spawn doors. So Vio kind of anticipating correctly as Scouty comes up on Sniper to try and hit some shots. Vio gonna do his darndest to try and hit those shots first.
Yeah, I mean, did we expect anything less from Scouty? It's going to be the SVS stream, I guess, if things continue like this. Which I mean, I'm all for it. You know, getting to see the frag bid moments from Scouty on Sniper.
Exactly.
It's not completely cancerous like it usually is. I don't know. These teams are pretty evenly matched. It's something exciting to see in its own right. It's not just they go Sniper because that's all they can play. Scouty can definitely play Scout. I mean, it's in his name.
That's true. It is in his name, so it is surprising that he plays as much Sniper as he does. But you know, a man of many talents. We'll see if one of those talents connects. Right now, he's going to be trying to peek in through right. They should know. You have Vio is trying to see if he can maybe hit the shot as Soldier bombs around. It's going to be Vio getting the better of him. Nice shot from him to take down Scouty. Instantly, Scuba Steve does try and go in for the counter.
Demo
going to be denying him. Nice shot from Frosty on the left. The Soldier bombs into lobby. Does a lot of damage, but luckily, Rave going to be able to stay alive. Vio getting a nice shot as well. It looks like FGP want to try and pressure this, but they have to use because of that sniper. They're a little bit worried because of it and the sentry gun. And unless I'm lagging out, I think we have a pause.
Yeah, it looks like a pause. I mean, it was going to be tough for Scouty at the end because they were playing Central and with the gun and dispenser right there. So, I mean, it's going to be tough to get Gadilli without anything less than, like, you know, a double, if not triple sack onto him. But with the sniper, obviously, it's not going to be beneficial to do that. But they managed to get 3 picks, and Frosty caught out the demo. Really nice play from him. And, yeah, this pause is a little bit awkward. I don't know. Might that be a attack pause? Because, I mean, this looks like it's going to be a favorable Uber for FGP, even though Gadilli hasn't used his yet. I mean, they've got a lot of time on those spawners, so I think they can work some magic here with this remaining Uber, get that gun down and just play the long game and get the frags as Uber fades, and the spawners should be coming up right around that time, but they'll be coming out of that spawn door so they could probably get locked out if they're quick enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, this is a 90 seconds in the future if this is your first match, in which case, if it is your first match, welcome. But I do wonder how effective this Uber is going to be because, like you said, Gadilli still at 100%. They got to take down with sentry gun. The spawners might be up in time, and looks like FGP they want to try to take advantage of the fact that Rome were down 3 players. But the thing is, Vio up on sniper just kind of made it that they just kind of had to pop there, especially with the sentry gun. That you have to worry. Last thing you want to do is have this great opportunity and then just beef it by being a bit too eager and taking in your medic, not using, and then suddenly you just down 100% Uber ad. But They've gone for it. Ideally for them, they're going to be trying to at least get the Uber out of Gadilli, take down the sentry gun. At that point, it's just going to be a question of how well can they kite the counter Uber, and how well can they play around the spawners. Both their spawners were on the way. They got Scouty making his way through Valley right now, Throne still in the respawn room, and Frosty collecting some packs in lobby. And also for Rome, how well can they delay this FGP thing, as long as Gadilli is able to stay alive and doesn't drop anyone, because worst case scenario for him is that he drops, honestly, if he drops Darty, usually the engineer is not who you're, focused on saving.
He only has a sniper to work. He has a sniper to engineer. This is not, I don't think you can win a last push with this, or against the last push with this. This is going to be a hard proposition. Here we go. Oh, heavy out on Vio. And actually, yeah. Those spawns came up real quick, a lot quicker than I thought they would.
Yeah, really. I guess, it was a good attempt from FGP, but at that moment, Rome just had things locked down. But there's still only going to be a few seconds left on the clock before we go into a round reset. Unless I need to reset my HUD, as only going to be around 50 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
As a, so the pressure is going to be on FGP a little bit. Uber's basically even. So now they've got to figure out, do we just take an even Uber exchange? Do we just let things reset? Because, even if you do take an even Uber exchange, as it looks like they are going to try and do, they are going to be walking in, going to be trying to take down the sentry gun. Sentry gun is taken down, but however, Gadilli not forced at all. Some damage going around, some players falling, but it's going to be FGP players falling. And now this is the problem with doing this. Sure, you are doing it fairly late, but are you going to be able to secure that you don't lose the round because of it? Scouty coming in for a last-ditch effort. FGP just barreling in here, trying to do anything they possibly can. They get a lot of damage onto the medic, but that's not the place you got to be focusing. A lot of damage onto the point. Can Rome hold? They've done so. And they cap it up.
Medcap, baby. Yeah, Rabius, he's not afraid to jump on that thing when there's enough cap tap on it, and hats off to him, because that's the exact type of play that I like as a medic, not being afraid to get on that and sacrifice his health for the team to get that cap time down. And yeah, second round for FGP. Love to see it.
That caught me by surprise because my HUD wasn't updated, so it just said that there was no cap time there. So I was very surprised, as I'm sure Rome were. Regardless, that is going to be 2-0 in favor of FGP. This is their map choice, so not all hope lost for Rome at the moment, but these mid-fights is where they need to start changing things up. They've lost both of them so far. Gadilli, fairly weak, is going to have to try and survive all of this aggression as they just play in their choke. Scouty just jumps in and takes down Frisbee. Great stuff there. Now Rome, they're going to have to back up. They're down at both of their soldiers and kind of recognizing writing on the wall. They'd only lose more just kind of staying in that no man's land. Now FGP making their way in through Valley to try and pressure. And that's going to be thrown, trying to go behind. Scouty following him. So they got two in behind. Question is, number one, can Rome deal with these two players in the back lines?
Well, like you said, this is what they like to do. Throne and Scouty like to get grouped up as a team and head back behind the lines and cause some havoc and chaos. And I mean, it looks like they're doing just that. They have two players behind. They have to keep mind of that and just, make sure that FGP doesn't walk in the interim. And it looks like they're trying to scoot their way in through Valley. And Migs, really low HP, gets taken down by the rollers of Draco. Or is that a direct? Either way, he's dead. And Scumbag C is going to follow suit to the hands of Magic, and now Uber v Uber coming up on Plat potentially. Looks like it's going to be a trade. No, Gadilli's waiting on the low ground and having to contend with Scouty, fighting with Darty. And yeah, height advantage for FGP, and actually Gadilli's going to go around the side of the lighthouse with the Scout, try to initiate some sort of contact, but FGP's going to back out of Cafe and not want to force that Uber fight if they don't have to take it, especially waiting for their players to come up. So yeah, just realizing, we don't have to fight here if we don't have to. Meet them in choke maybe, but yeah, looks like a little bit of a stalemate reset. Although Vio looks like he really wants to get this going.
Yeah, Vio does, and with his soldier bombing in through Valley, that's going to be Scuba Steve trying to get in behind through Cafe, is going to be taken down by Scouty. So with that, Looks like Rome are just going to be hanging out in the space they've given. Mig might be caught, and he is caught. Nice dead from Draco to take him down, and now with 2 projectiles down, 1 being your demo, that's definitely going to be an opening for FGP to try and work their way in here. It looks like they've opted for Cafe Magic, taking a bit of damage for soldiers bombing around from Rome just to see if they can get anything at all. There's a little bit of action in Valley. Frosty is going to be able to take down Frisbee with some bombs. We do have a player in behind. That is going to be Scouty and Throne. Both of them do die, but FGP has already gotten the space onto second. And looks like Rome, they want to try and recontest with both those players going down. That's going to be Scuba Steve dying, trying to bomb in through. They have gotten a lot of space, this Rome squad. They've gotten a little bit of control of Platt, but the Uber comes out. The counter Uber from Rome looking a little bit better for them as they can keep all their players alive, which they should be able to do now. Can FGP get out? Magic does serve as Sticky, but he takes a lot of damage because of it. Throne trades Vio out, and at the end of the day, even Ubers, it looks like they want to get right back in here, number one.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They've got the health and the players to do it. So, I mean, and yeah, Rome has the positional backfoot right here now as they're getting caught going out through Shutter, and both Scots managed to pick up the kill. And yeah, Rave AC did a really good job of staying alive. He got jostled and juggled into the roof of Cafe Patio right as the Ubers were ending. Instead of trying to force it back through that doorway that was getting spammed, he slinked and snuck right back into choking the waiting arms of one of his scouts, and he was able to live and keep these Ubers even. And well, now he's got advantage since Gadilli died trying to retreat, almost full advantage.
It is going to be full advantage, almost, for FGP. Vio up on Sniper, trying to see if he can hit the shots to get his team a miracle on this point. Scuba Steve is in behind, however. He went in through dungeon. Looks like he's opting to just try and maybe meet back up with the rest of his team as the Ubers come out from FGP. They do get some cap time. They get a lot of cap time, actually, onto the point, and they do get one in Vio, so now they can just play the long game, just kind of bully these Rome players back, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They got them all cajoled into this one corner, and then they just combined focus fire makes it a 3-0 game, number one.
Yeah, it was just an absolute nuke on last. I mean, what else can he say? Scumbag Steve got a little bit separated from his team right as FGP decided to come in, so I mean, not the greatest timing. And then, yeah, with that Uber advantage, they just backed him into that corner and just absolutely unleashed on him. And the one thing that FGP is consistently doing is just getting that early cap time pressure, getting about half capped, and it's just like, well, what do? Do you go for the frag, so you stop the point, because you have to make a decision somewhere.
You do indeed, but I think for Rome, the first thing they got to try and fix are these mid-fights. They've not been having fairly good luck on them. We do see Frosty trying to go into Cafe, does do a good bit of damage, but is going to be taken down, 1 soldier each. Scuba Steve was the one who fell on the side of Rome, but once again, it looks like FGP have the positioning advantage. Rome, they kind of scrambled a little bit. They might get caught out. Really great damage. Legacy Darty going to be trying to do everything to keep his medic alive. It's not going to be enough. Now the question is, can they get onto Rave? He's playing all the way far back. Darty makes a play for it. There is a soldier in around Cafe, just trying to hide. That is going to be Frisbee. Trying to see if he can do anything, but he is going to get spotted. A few of his friendly respawners are here to try and help him in his quest to take down Rave. Is going to be the name of the game. They get Frosty, but that's not who they really want, as a Rave staying alive there means FGP have big old Uber ad. They are taking a little bit of time here, so Gadilli, if they build and they keep delaying FGP, they might be able to get at least for last. Oh, and he gets the force. Really great bomb from Scuba Steve to get that. They do try and barrel in, but just a little bit too eager. Draco's going to be taken down. I don't think they're going to get any trade for it. Yeah, Rave actually goes down as well, and what was looking okay for them has turned into a disaster. Really great play all around from Rome.
Yeah, and it looked a little bit shaky at first. It was a bit of a tussle on mid. Throne got behind and choke, and with Draco's help, they put him between a rock and a hard place, quite literally, just stuffed him. And backed up and retreated when they realized they couldn't quite get all the kills that they needed, and then rotated in through Valley, and then, yeah, just like you said, they hit a little bit too hard to try to get the kills with that Uber in a second, and now it's going to cost them as Rome takes the point back from FGP and rolls in with about full Uber advantage.
Yeah, they are going to do so. We do have a little bit of a heavy in the forward spawns. That's going to be magic. He actually does get Frisbee, at least with the fall damage. So that's going to be something to kind of slow this Rome aggression. They're still going to go with it because it still is fairly big Uber ad. And they have able to at least get a pick onto Frosty. That's going to be a soldier down, thrown. Is stuck, but he's doing a lot of damage onto all of these Rome players from behind in lobby. He does get taken down, but he does so much damage. He does get a trail out as well onto Vio. Rome, they can't really repush this either because they're worried about the Uber that FGP has. Actually, never mind, they are going to try and do so. As Magic does go, he does fall. A nice pipe to take him down, and it's just going to be able to collapse onto the point. I spoke too soon. Rave was so close, but it's not going to be enough. And Rome get the first round on the board.
Yeah, they didn't win the first mid fight, but they won the second mid fight, and they just used that momentum to roll into last. And yeah, that's why counting Ubers precisely is so important, because even though they didn't have advantage anymore after using Uber, Rave didn't quite have Uber yet, and 20% is enough to work with if they're not actively building. That can give you at least 10 seconds to go in and disrupt that healing even more and prevent the Uber from coming even sooner. And that's exactly what they did. They took that aggression right out of the gate and came back in and won a round off of it.
Yes, and they definitely what Rome needed. Now the question is, can they take that momentum and turn it into a mid-fight one, as they're going to be trying to rotate. Soldiers traded out for a demo, a little bit better for FGP. No demo on the side of Rome. A lot of damage as Scouty is just running forward, trying to do anything. Kadili's super weak, and that's going to be a bomb from Frosty to take him down. The soldiers on Rome going to try and counter bomb to try and get onto Rave, who's playing so far away in Valley. Is going to have to probably lose mid, at least for the moment. Scuba Steve is so deep on second right now, just trying to do anything they possibly can. Rave's still fairly weak because he hasn't gotten a pack yet. They might actually fall. He is going to actually have to use Uber, and good thing too, because he went down fairly low. Great stuff from Rome to get that Uber force out as a, and Frisbee! He gets the late pick as the Uber was just falling. That's so unfortunate, but really great rocket from Frisbee to get that. Now Rome going to try and get in here. Thrown, trying to do the same thing. A lot of damage. Is going to be able to take down Mig, but I think at the end of the day, Gadilli going to stay nice and alive here. So Rome going to be able to recapture up this midpoint and going to have Uber ad to work with onto second, and if they're lucky, maybe even last number one.
Yeah, it's looking like almost a facsimile of the last round. FGP won the mid, but they ended up weirdly in Rome's second and just stayed a bit too long. And yeah, the thing that I'm noticing from Rome is that they're getting a lot more aggressive, and they're also coordinating it really well. And it's just catching FGP out. They're dying in the way that Rome was just 2-3 rounds ago. So yeah, just completely turning it around on them and showing that they can hang tough, even if it's not their map pick.
They can indeed, as they use their Uber in through Valley. They do get one. Scouty does fall, but they are going to have to worry about the fact that FGP now has their own Uber charge.
Actually has it this time.
Yes, they do actually have it. That's not just me waffling. It is legitimate Uber.
I mean, it's just like they built it slow. I mean, by any metric, it should have been a little bit closer, but yeah, it was about 20%.
Oh, they're going in through dungeon. Rome, recognizing the situation, have all flooded in through dungeon. They are going to get the Uber out from FGP there, as they are picking up a lot of frags here in this lobby scuffle. Looks like Rome once again wants to try and push in through this left side, but Frosty doing his darndest to try and stuff it. And that's going to be Rome wiping. I like the idea of flooding in through dungeon. They were able to get the force there on last, which wasn't ideal for FGP in the slightest, but then they just stayed around a bit too long, and FGP were able to use their Uber to clean up those kills and make sure that no one got in behind. So now FGP.
Oh man, right back in it with the aggression.
Oh, Scuba Steve.
They're just going at it. It's just like whole hog, dude. They're not afraid to go in, man. They're just putting the screws to FGP, just trying to claw back these rounds here.
Yeah, they are indeed. And I think kind of a, not off timing, but this unexpected aggression that Rome are kind of happy to employ is catching out FGP just a little bit, because like you said, it was an even Uber scenario. Well, actually it wasn't even Uber scenario. It was a bit in the favor of FGP, but Ubers weren't up yet. So Rome took that as an opportunity to just try and send some players in. They were able to get their target, and now they've got nearly 100% Uber to work with here, as they're going to making their way into lobby. We do have a pyro up on the field, just going to be causing a little bit of chaos, but It's an opportunity now, number one, for Rome to get another round on the board.
Well, yeah, they really want to utilize this power well. He should be spamming them with air blast at the doorway and not flares. This gun goes down in this Uber. Gadilli caught behind the point with nobody to escort him out. Draco will clean him up. Darty, in the meantime, getting a kill onto Frosty, and now the retreating players into dungeon will get cleaned up. That's Mig taken down by Throne, and just like that, the pendulum swings back. And yeah, full Uber for Rave. FGP is going to roll out and going to get back their second. Minute 50 in the server time until overtime.
Yeah, it is. We are close to that kind of golden. It's actually not golden. I guess continuous overtime is the proper way to say it. We do have a sniper.
Time? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We do have a sniper up on the field. It's not Scouty. It's actually going to be Darty, as Scuba Steve does a bomb Valley trying to predict where the medic is. He doesn't quite get it correct as everyone else went in through Cafe, so that's going to be FGP making their way in on to mid. They do still have it. Uberhead looks like Draco wants to try and take this and bomb in. He does go in super deep. He has eyes on the medic, but instead he is going to get the demo. A fairly good substitute, all things considered, as now FGP, they were able to get the demo there. Not a lot of projectiles to kind of help take that, but Darty with a nice pick on the Frosty is definitely going to slow things down from the FGP squad.
Yeah, as soon as Darty got the shot on the Frosty, Draco was looking like he was going to walk on the lobby, but as soon as that headshot rang out, he's like, nah, I'm good, and turn around and walk back out. So yeah, they're going to play it safe, build up this Uber.
All right, Uber has been used from the side. Oh, a nice kind of, oh, my Frisbee! He went in so deep there, 2008 Uber, but it worked out with the soldier. Oh my god, but Gadilli does go down as well, and now this chaos might favor FGP just a little bit.
Oh, Draco, nice job catching out Darty, trying to retreat through dungeon. Just excellent sticky placement, and now they got the, well, not the player advantage anymore. Spawns come up, but yeah, really nice, what's the word? I can't think of the word. They went with the advantage that they were given. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good kind of a retry, or not retry, but I can't think of a word either.
I passed it on to you, dude. I'm sorry. I gave you the brain worm, man. My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Either way, at the end of the day, no harm, no foul, really, from either team. It's going to be the exact same situation that they were in previously. I do just have to say, once again, really great, stuff from Frisbee. He took that soldier Uber. That's kind of like the pocket solo Uber that you kind of dream of as a soldier.
Fan of it.
Yeah, just going in, jumping into a bunch of people and getting the med. But now they're going to take this slight Uber ad that they did have, and this is so slight because Rave is at 100% right now, is going to be able to get, not going to drop anyone. It's only going to be Frosty taken down on the side of FGP. They're going to get another one. So many players falling on FGP. Rome holding this exceptionally well. Now they're going to try and go forward. Looks like FGP maybe thought they had a little bit bigger ad than they did, or maybe they thought that they were just going to take that 10% Uber ad. Either way, it has not worked out for them at all. Rave managing to just barely stay alive, but Rome getting so much space and capture points because of it. And it looked like they want to try and make their way in onto mid. They do have a heavy in the force spawn that they got to contend with. Because of it, Scuba Steve is going to fall. Fighting on mid with a heavy is always going to be a little bit difficult. Scouty's just revving up. Soldier on Bell Tower. That's going to be Frisbee. He gets the pick on the Rave. That's going to be more important than any heavy can possibly do. And because of it, they're going to be having to get out and keep their medic alive and come back in with heal ad or even Uber ad.
Yeah, and Frisbee just jumped up onto that bell tower and got 3 clean rockets, just uncontested down on a Raven. See, there's literally nothing he could do except look helplessly at him as he did it. And yeah, Gadilli's going to be rolling in with his scouts through Valley, and they're going to pop Uber out to try to catch this demo and heavy. Draco jumps out, almost leaves this medic to drive, but actually Frisbee comes in with the aggression and is going to force Rave all the way out. Now as the scout's going to clean up these players on second and mid. Throne taking the fight with Frisbee on the flank, and yeah, Frisbee's going to come out on top of that one. 3 dead for FGP.
Yeah, Vio making his way in through dungeon, just kind of faking it a little bit, causing a little bit concern for FGP. Like, oh, is he going to try and wrap us? Is he going to try and go for the flank? He doesn't, but he does force FGP to back up there. Great positioning from Vio, but they do want to try and peek this just a little bit. That's FGP. They are at an Uber advantage, but they don't have just quite yet. The worry is, do Rome try and go for a back cap? Scuba Steve does a lot of damage onto Rave. There's going to be someone going behind. That's going to be Darty. He goes in, a little bit of a scout, 1v1 here. Scouty does win it, but we do have Rome in dungeon just trying to spam as well. Rave goes down super low, doesn't have Uber to use, now does. So now he can, if he has to, he's going to get in the forward spawn. We do have the soldiers bombing in, but Rome, they have a lot of space. The Uber has been used from FGP. They are going to clean up two soldiers down, but Gadilli is going to have Uber add if FGP can't do anything about it.
And yeah, it's a really fortunate hold from FGP. They stopped Darty from getting the back half, and they got the kills with the Uber. It looked like it wasn't going to be ideal because Rave was trying to save Throne with that Uber, but he died before he could pop it off. But yeah, they're doing the best with what they've got. They got about 60% Uber disad. Gun is going up, however, to try to stymie that Uber if it comes in. And here it comes in from dungeon. Only a level 1, not going to be able to do much. The gun goes down. Throne's on the back of the point looking for something to do. Frisbee's gaining some position for his team, and now Scotty is up on the Pyro Magic on Heavy.
Oh, Frosty.
Get bullied out. Oh,
Frosty.
Frosty nuke, baby. Oh, you love to see it. Oh, my God. Just an absolute wipe. And from what was certain to be a great Uber advantage push against a level 1 Sentry, it just Frosty and Throne. Oh, my God. Just massive amounts of damage, just buying their team all the space and time that they need. Gonna roll this out to mid. Gadilli's still dead. Full Uber for Rave. Scuba Steve's gonna try to do what he can to cause some havoc and get the force, but nothing doing. And Frisbee's gonna back out of Cafe in turn as well. Just wow, dude. Those soldiers from FGP, man, they can turn up when they need to. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just that, Rome, they've seemed to kind of go over to that right side, but the problem is they're all over on that right side. So then the soldiers from FGP just kind of coordinate their spam over there, and they all take the same damage now. Looks like Scuba Steve going to be trying to bomb around. He does do a lot of damage, and that's going to be another just mulching right there. Rave not having to use, and looks like just gonna be going so quick with it. Gonna be trying to take it in through dungeon. That's gonna be Magic leading the charge with the Uber. Gonna get some cap time before they use. Gonna be trying to take down this Heavy. With the Uber does finally do so. There's no one to stop the point, and that's gonna be the 4th and final round for the favor of FGP, taking it 4-1 as this first best of 3 against FGP versus Rome.
Just back-to-back nukes from the soldiers absolutely opened up that round and gave them all the space that they needed to just finish it out 4-1, man. That was just, dude, I have to go back and watch that because that was just absolutely insane.
All right, it was a pretty nuclear for the side of FGB, but Rome, there's still some good things to take away from that. The fact that they were able to kind of reset and get around in the latter half of that first match kind of means that they've got, the potential to reset things and, get back into it. And, still this was FGP's map pick, Sunshine. This was the map they thought they had the best chance of winning on. They were right because they did win on it.
Yeah,
but now the question is, can Rome fight back on their map pick, which is going to be Bagel? But I guess before we get too into that number one, we can take a little look at the logs.
Absolutely. And just, yeah, high amounts of frags spread evenly across both teams. I mean, it was just an absolute slugfest. FGP had, 15 more frags total, but Rome had a slight bit amount of damage more. And just, yeah, it was the stats seem to indicate that it was pretty evenly fought, but man, it was an absolute slog. 34-minute match. Like I said, that momentum is just like they were in their own rhythm, but just the overall pace of the match was just very slow, very deliberate. Few plays popping up here and there for excitement, but by and large, they just took the map as they know it and really dictated the match. There was those moments where Rome sort of looked like they were taking that off timing, just really trying to knock them off of their groove. But I mean, FGP, when you got two soldiers like Frosty and Throne, dude, you can do whatever you want.
Definitely, and really great attempt as well from Rome, like you said, with that kind of unexpected aggression, just kind of going in and trying to get onto Rave whenever possible, and they were
It was working.
fairly successful. Yeah, it was working, a fair few times, but it just seemed like the last pushes or the last holds however you want to look at it from Rome, just weren't quite connecting. But that's one problem that they won't have to worry about. Number one on Bagel, there's no last to hold, there's no last to push. There's only one point because it's King of the Hill. And so, if Rome can feel maybe a little bit better with kind of their chaos plays and their kind of I guess going at unexpected timings. That's definitely something that can lend itself on a Bagel, where you can just send your players in for a 4-man and reap the rewards because of it. So I'm going to be interested to see if that play style carries over onto Bagel. But I guess other things that point out to me from the logs, Draco 24 in 5,
Oh
man,
my
was
god, yeah.
absolutely pounding, stayed alive more than either of the medics. And at a certain point, you gotta think that's definitely a key reason why FGP were able to take it. Just having a demo alive, you don't know where the sticky traps are. You're a bit more
Yeah.
hesitant, and doing 310 damage as well. Draco just being a rock for his team.
Yeah, he was getting a fair amount of frags and even catching people out, almost playing like a quasi flank demo. And yeah, like with Psy last night in their game against GCF, man, he was just staying alive on Snakewater in particular. He just never seemed to die, despite putting out the damage and helping his team. And Draco very much echoing that sort of play style tonight.
Yeah, you did, and definitely really, really great stuff from him. I do also want to shout out Frisbee, 289 as well. That great solo kind of 2008 Soldier Uber getting onto Rave was,
I'm a fan. I love it.
yeah, it was actually just glorious to see. Just going in there, bombing in through lower, going into Valley, shooting a bunch of people, getting the pick. That's what you love to see, man.
Yeah, if you can get your soldier in and they're really close, not everything needs to be a scouter, but if you have a soldier that can get clumped up people, and not even just in doorways, that they're trying to retreat and they're clumping up, bunching up, well, make them pay for it, man. Jump on their heads, make them realize what the hurt really means. So soldier's not relegated to just jumping around and being behind him. I mean, it's what it's pretty much good at, but he can still lay out the hurt if you're gonna let him do it.
Yeah, definitely, and that was a enough for Frisbee to take advantage of it. But if you want to take advantage of this match happening right now, you can go into the Fireside store and check out the merch that these teams have. You can support either Rome, the Colosseum, history. They've got a lot of great merch over on the Fireside store, and also FGP. What it stands for, I don't know, but they got stickers and a kinda cool font, man, so I definitely check that out. If you wanna support either of these teams, they're battling out tonight, both for our enjoyment and for their playoffs aspirations, it should be said. This is playoffs, so this is where you put it all out on the line. This isn't the time to hold back any secret strategies or anything like that. This is where you just fight to, prove your worth, and, both of these teams had a, pretty good invite season, considering second season an invite for Rome, first season an invite for FGP. So both fairly new to it. So they want to get as high as they possibly can, ideally aiming to not be last, which I think they're probably both not going to be, but this would kind of secure it.
Yeah, and I'm glad I'm not the only one in the dark about what FGP means because I have no clue either. But yeah, I mean, as far as not really expecting to be an invite, I don't think FGP is really too hurt about where they're at. They didn't have very much of an expectation. They kind of got it forced upon them. So coming this far, and I mean, it's loser leaves, right? Their season is basically done if they lose tonight. So a little bit of pressure, but they can't be all too upset. It was pretty stacked against them, but I'm glad to see them doing well tonight. And it's do or die here, because if Rome does not win on their map, they're out. They're done. And FGP beat them on their map and Rome's map.
I think, yeah. I was trying to see, yeah, this is the I guess, yeah, this is do or die because in the lower bracket. So do or die. For either of them, whoever loses this is going to be going out as the seventh seed. They're not going to be the eighth seed. That would be the government if they lose to Global Clan Ice in their match. So whoever loses this is going to be seventh in invite. So definitely a fair standing. I don't know what Rome were last season. Were they eighth? Um,
I
if
don't know
anyone knows.
actually.
I feel like they probably were. So at least at the bare minimum, that's like a one
Oh
point
yeah, they were.
increase.
They were.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely that's a it's a one place increase. So definitely some progress from them. Same thing from FGP first season and invite, really great showing as well. So both of these teams, having a fairly good invite season comparatively, given their time in invite. All things considered, but we're over on Bagel. It's going to be the second map in the best of three. This is Rome's map pick. And I can tell you now that if Rome do win this, that we're going to be headed over onto Snakewater for the third and final map. So, if you want to see some Snakewater, if you're a Rome fan, that's what you're going to be looking forward to. If you're an FGP fan and you want them to close it out here, you're going to be dreading that Snakewater, even though I think FGP's chances on Snakewater are a lot better than they are on Bagel, because last time these two teams played, Rome looked very, very dominant on Bagel. Scuba Steve was just getting in behind, causing chaos on the flank. I think Vio as well was running around. Darty did so much work going in behind, staying alive for so long, and they were just kind of chaosing all over the map. Throne and the rest of the FGP squad weren't really able to keep up with it. So going to be interesting to see if FGP have kind of recognized what went wrong last time they played this team on this map, or if they're just kind of be okay to give it up to a certain extent and focus all of their eggs on the 5 CP, which would be Snakewater.
I don't remember if they said they scrimmed this or not. There was one map that they said they absolutely did not scrim or weren't prepared for, but I can't remember if it was this one or another one.
I think it was Sultry.
Yeah. But the other thing I'm thinking of is that this isn't really a map conducive to sniper, so we're probably. Well, I mean, I hope to God, Scotty doesn't try to force going on sniper in this map too much, and we'll see what he's really made of with this pretty DM intensive map. The point captures pretty quickly, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth, and we've already seen both of these teams can really turn up the heat and crank up the momentum when they need to be doing it. And so, yeah, we'll see if those off timing strats come into play yet again.
Yeah, the off timing strats just kind of going in for the all out aggression. Worked a few times for Rome, and see they can definitely do something similar here, just sending their soldiers in for the high bomb. One thing I am going to be interested in is going to be the demo match of Draco
Mm,
versus Mig, because if Draco can just pump out the damage like he was at
very
least
true.
seemingly to last time, that can be a really, really great hindrance for Rome if they're going to be trying to go for aggressive plays. Because if you're just getting tagged everywhere you go by the demo, it can
Oh,
make it a
absolutely.
little, a lot harder to kind of get through these doors cleanly and just, kind of play the point, which I think last time Rome was a little bit better at, just kind of playing the point, making sure that they always had cap time going their way or just getting cap time as soon as they possibly could. But with a FGP doing it fairly well on Sunshine, hopefully they'll be able to convert it over on to Bagel. But if you want a map 3, you're gonna be wanting that Rome victory here
All roads,
on
baby.
map 2. Yeah, all roads lead to Rome, except the ones that don't. But a
Those came later. Those don't count.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah,
those don't count.
you're absolutely right about the demo, dude. Because the one thing that I noticed playing medic on this map is this demo could be so freaking annoying. Just as you're just trying to not take stickies being lobbed over the point or to the side of it, and these doorways are really thin and narrow, and it can be really tough to clear it out. You have to go pretty quickly with your soldier to clear them, or just go unnoticed, which is pretty tough to do because the map's kind of small, so it's really easy to keep an eye on all doorways at the same time and react accordingly. But yeah, especially, I mean, I don't think Draco's gonna have 5 deaths this game because it's gonna be a lot of fragging, I would hope. But yeah, we'll see either way which demo can produce more for his team.
Yeah, we are gonna have to see. I guess we can also talk a little bit, as we do have one team readying up, so we might be going live imminently. But with that being said, it's also gonna be interesting to see via, I guess, kind of a flank match up,
Mm,
Throne and Scouty versus Scuba Steve and Darty.
yeah, I was wondering
And
about that myself.
yeah, last time it was, I think, Throne and Scouty got the little bit better of them, but I think it is also just a lot of kind of good just team play from the
Hmm.
side of FGP at the end of the day, that was able to work things out for them here. But last time on Bagel, Scuba Steve was going ham. This man was able to get in behind. He did a lot of work getting onto the medic who I think at that time was still Footsocks. It wasn't Rave. But yeah, I was able to get onto Footsocks fairly consistently and kind of just being able to cause chaos, whether it was staying alive behind or just causing, a lot of players to look around for him as he bombs in onto their medic. So if there's one person that you kind of expect to go big from Rome right here on Bagel, I would expect it to be Scuba Steve and Darty. I think they performed phenomenally last time out on Bagel. It's been a whole season. Well, not a whole season, a good bit of a season since then, but I think they're definitely going to be the ones to look out for on this Rome squad if they're going to be able to take it to FGP on this map. As
Yeah,
we do have
absolutely
both teams live.
Yeah. Quickly, what is your prediction?
My prediction, you know what? I always love a good game. I'm going to say that Rome take it 4-3. It's going to be a nail biter down to the wire.
I don't know why I was so afraid you're going to say 4-0. Like, huh? After all that, 4-0? Dang, man.
No, yeah, 4-3. Rome taking us to a map 3 because, close TF2 is always good TF2. But we're going to have to see if that prediction comes true on the second map of the best of 3, FGP versus Rome. Playing it a bit slow, just kind of waiting things out, and you can see Rome trying to get onto the point, trying to get some of that early cap time. Looks like FGP now responding, trying to get onto the point and pressure them back. Scuba Steve goes for a wraparound bomb, does take a lot of damage, so he's going to have to wait to get healed up. A lot of good cap time for FGP, and they're going to get the first cap of this map so far and this round. Going to be capturing it up, but no one died for that number one. A fairly passive beginning to this map, all things considered.
Yeah, they're really waiting for each other to make the first move, and I mean, you don't really have to do much because the point cap's so quick. So if you can force the fight, you force the fight, but they're not really dying early and leaving a space open for the other team to exploit. So really conservatively played. I think Rome would be more than happy to go with that if they can manage it.
Yeah, definitely. And now the question is, what do Rome try and do? Because they don't have the point. The kind of pressure is on them to make something happen. As now, all of a sudden, it's just eking out in the favor of FGP. Magic is going to go down, and looks like Scuba Steve and Darty were able to kind of push the flank a little bit there to get that pick. Now we do have a big bomb from Throne in through the right house. Is going to be able to do a lot of damage and get out the Uber from Gadilli. Both soldiers taken down, 4 down on the side of FGP, but crucially for them, Rave AC, the air conditioning unit for FGP, was able to stay alive. They got big old Uber to work with here. Question is, how successful of an Uber is this going to be?
Yeah, that was a really fluid 4-man from FGP to get that Uber out. They didn't have to take time to think about it and plan how they did it. They just absolutely did it, and it's working wonders as they come back in from that right side, putting the pressure on the point, getting the cap time down. 2.5 minutes gone for Roman, and Uber popped out for Rave AC. They're going to chase all the way on to Placadilly. Not going to get out. Draco with the lock and load. Going to take him out. Frosty getting the kill in the meantime, and Throne going to get one of his own on the Darty. And Scotty cleaning up Bio. So just 2 left alive in Frisbee and Mig. And Frisbee is a little bit worse for wear. He's going to try to retreat all the way back and get healed up. And yeah, positional advantage and the clock ticking in favor of FGP.
It is indeed unfortunate that Frosty died there, or fortunate for Rome, because that means that FGP not going to really have all the players needed for a forward hold. So they're going to be able to get out through right. Both soldiers bombing forward, but it's actually Throne hiding in the back lines, was able to take down Gadilli. So it doesn't even matter that they didn't have the forward hold. Throne just coming up very clutch for his team, just kind of securing his team even further. Uber advantage. Draco hitting some nice 2 pipes to take down the bombing soldiers. He is eventually going to die to some nice 2 pipes from Mig as well. Just 2 pipes going either way, each which way from the lock and load. But with that being said, Rave gonna be able to stay alive, but Darty, can he hit the shots on the Rave? Oh, Magic gonna be able to keep his medic up and alive. A nice rocket from Throne onto a bombing Mig, taking him down. That's gonna be FGP capturing up the point. And yet again, they have the time taken down to their favor. They got big old Uber at number 1. It looks like they're gonna be trying to do a little bit of a forward hold.
Yeah, starting slow in the beginning of this round to an absolute slugfest coming out here now as the first round starting to draw to a close. 60 seconds left for FGP. Rome has to make a move. They've got double the amount of time left on the clock, so here we go. Looking like they want to come in on the right, but a lot of spam coming down. Soldiers struggling to get through. Frisbee down to 40 HP. And gonna get
Darty!
Darty in on Rave, taking him down with the Uber. Big old drop.
That is a big drop and a much needed drop for Rome. Now is Dilly gonna get on 100% Uber his own, and now Rome gonna have the opportunity to get back into this game. Only 30 seconds left on the clock, like you said, for FGP. Rome should be able to get to the point in time. Question is, are they going to be able to keep Uber as they do so? Going to be making their way out through left. Scouts running forward. They're starting to get a little bit of time onto the point. What FGP want to do is maybe just try and force out the Uber, which they do, but the question is, can they keep enough players alive to make it worth? Looks like Rave should be able to stay alive. Draco does fall, which is okay. You do have two players in the back lines. That's going to be Scouty and Throne, just trying to play around here, just trying to stay alive and hide. Rome do capture up the point. Throne going in for a bomb. He is going to be taken down. Good job from Darty to keep his medic alive. Scouty still in the back lines, however, as FGP. They only have 1 second left on the clock, so a not complete overtime, so they do need to hold it for a little bit, but close to it.
Yeah, a little bit of a blessing, a little bit of a curse. It's not overtime, but it's only 1 second, so they had like a fraction of a second more to react if the point gets recapped, and actually they're going to have to react to this Uber coming out. They scatter like cockroaches under a light. Darty, in the meantime, getting the kill on the Draco, but Scouty coming behind and getting a Dilly and Mig before finally being cleaned out by Vio. Soldier jumping around on the point. That's Throne shooting down Vio and retreating back with his medic, getting the cap down, and here comes Frisbee over the top. It's come back Steve, following him up, but Throne's going to say, no, you don't, and getting the kill onto him, and Frosty's going to clean up Frisbee, and that's going to be the first round for FGP as they finish off that cap, and that 1 second ticks down. Yeah, early round advantage for FGP.
Yeah, that is FGP taking it. And Rome, you know, they had a lot of great signs right there, but unfortunately weren't able to keep control of the point. And I think more damningly, they weren't able to kind of figure out what they wanted to do quick enough, because there were a few times they were just letting the clock tick down in the favor of FGP. But we saw a fairly slow mid in the first round. Gidilli taking a bit of damage early on. We're going to we see another close slow mid, and that's not going to happen. Both soldiers bombing in. Scuba Steve connecting the rocket onto Rave. Really great stuff from the Scuba man himself. But now FGP, they got 4 up. Gidilli is going to have to back the heck out of there. He only has 2 scouts to keep him alive, and which is definitely, you know, enough to do so. But with 4 people maybe bombing at you all at once, he's going to have to play fairly safe. He is going to be able to stay alive. Scout is just kind of playing the ring of the point just a little bit, just trying to deny this cap up for as long as he possibly can. FGP were able to capture it up, and all of that chaos of a time was ticking down in their favor. But now Rome, they got the respawners, they got the threat of Uber, so they are going to be able to recapture it up. But FGP almost immediately trying to play this point time, just trying to bait out the Uber a little bit. And Frosty is in. He does a lot of damage. That's going to be the Uber from Gidilli being used out there. Rave is backing all the way up there. Scouty looks like he wants to make it, try and play onto Scuba Steve. He does do so, and now securing a player advantage. That's going to be FGP working their way out with Uber advantage as well, number 1.
Yeah, and from a slow first mid and just cranking all the way to the other extreme, just coming out right out of the gate. Both soldiers bombing Rave AC on his big health pack there on the plat and just going down instantly. Doesn't really matter because they get the force out, but Rave AC has an Uber of his own as they come out. Now Scotty getting the kill onto Darty, cleaned up by Vio. Then, oh, Frosty! Mid-air shot onto Vio as he heads over, gives him a little how do you do. And now Rave AC popping off that Uber. Gonna let it fade away. Gidilli with 80% Uber of his own. They don't capture the point, so time ticking down. And Scuba Steve in the back line on a Rave AC. Ooh,
Scuba Steve!
And
oh my!
Nick getting 2 kills with the stickies, cleaning up the damage. Very nicely done from Scuba to give space to his team. And now Gidilli sitting with Uber advantage, full Uber advantage. And Draco's too hurt. He has to go back and get resup, so he's gonna be out of the fight for a little bit longer.
Yeah, really great stuff from Scuba Steve. He also hit a nice rocket onto one of the scouts there to connect it up. And yeah, Rave falling there means that now Rome, they've got Uber Ad to work with as they try and hold this for as long as possible. Frosty tries to jump in through this kind of alley ramp area, but he does die because of it. Throne trades out with Scuba Steve. But oh my god, a lot of damage coming up as everyone on FG, all the projectiles on FGP just kind of go in a little bit one by one. Because they don't have the point, everyone at FGP is going to spawn faster than Scuba Steve, meaning that they can try and get through this doorway now. But Rome already have only 60 seconds left on the clock, so FGP have got to start moving quick.
Yeah, Scouty gave up and went to Sniper. Both teams have Uber coming out, looking like they want to exchange. Gidilli pops off first. chasing into the house, and DBC is right there with his soldier scout demo and Paywaz. So yeah, aggression from Rome. They get counter popped. FGP coming out with the superior Uber, obviously. But with a lot of time off the clock for Rome, they had about like 40, 50 seconds left to go. So yeah, FGP has their work cut out for them if they want to claw this one back.
They do indeed have their work cut out, and I would hazard a guess and say that Rome, they've been pretty dominant on this round, so it might be FGB trying to figure out how how they can fix things because 90 seconds into the future. I'm not saying that Rome win this round, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a tack pause from FGB to try and figure things out. But Rome, a really great response so far. Even if they don't win, they've been looking very good in this round compared to how they played the first. They were able to get onto the point. They were able to get a lot of cap time down and just kind of keep FGP on their side of the map the whole time, not allowing a Throne or Frosty or Draco and anyone on FGP to really get in on to Gedilli, keeping him nice and alive. Scuba Steve going in for big plays as well, and his team following up on it. Everything that Rome needed to kind of take this map and turn it into a match going their way. So FGP gonna have to maybe think about how they want to try and respond because there's only I think a few seconds left on the clock after.
About 40, 50.
Yeah, and they only have 20 seconds tick down on their round, so a fairly dominant round so far from Rome.
Yeah, and it's a lot more back and forth, like in terms of the capture points in the DM than it was on Sunshine by a slight margin. But I think that just uh, is allowed by the fact that the map is so much smaller than it is Koth, and DM is the name of the game of Koth. And yeah, that's sort of what I expected. Both these seem to be pretty evenly matched in the DM front. So a map like Bagel, especially if Rome's a little bit more confident on it, I think they can really start to let their mojo flow through and take advantage the way that they want to, and really, like I said before, put the screws to FGP. And it seems to be working for the most part. I mean, taking only 20 seconds off the clock after winning the first round is a little bit well, it's not ideal if you're FGP. You kind of want to make sure that you have it in the bag and you're not just hoping just because you got the first cap and you stagger the caps, that's how you end up with the round win. You want to do it decisively because you only have 4 rounds to work with instead of the 5, and there's no overtime. So you can really wear yourself out if you're not careful and go at the pace that you yourself dictate.
Definitely, definitely. No overtime in King of the Hill as the Uber has been used. We are live now back again as a FGP. They have to try and get on to the point now. Legacy Darty going to get a nice pick off on to Throne, and Scouty, he does actually hit a shot on to Mig, so kind of showing up and saying, Sniper can kind of work anywhere, but Vio's going to get an easy flank onto him to take him down. Gedilli with a nice arrow onto Magic. Medics can frag too. If Sniper can frag, yeah, Medic can frag.
Absolutely, I'm a big believer in medics of fragging class, and if you believe otherwise, you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong. It's really that simple.
Definitely, definitely. As our producer chimes in with some opinions of his own, but regardless, it is still going to be FGP. They have to try and do something. Only 10 seconds left on the clock in the favor of Rome. Going to be trying to make their way over to the point. There's no medic on the side of FGP, and the Uber has come out now from Rome. So we're all invulnerable. They're not taking any damage. They're just going to be shooting down these FGP players thrown in around behind. He's not going to be able to do much. Oh, he does do a lot of damage actually onto Big. He does take him down, trades out with him. Draco just trying to spam across. They might be able, and they do get the capture in their favor, but looks like Rome wants to try and regress here now that they have the faster spawners. Are going to be able to get onto the point because it was overtime. They only had to cap it up once. That's going to be the round for Rome, making it a tie game.
Yeah, that was the tag pause. It's really weird. The trend that I'm noticing is that these teams tend to do like facsimiles of rounds, where one does one thing one round, and then the other team does almost the exact same thing in like scenario situation the next round. It's like too evenly matched, dude. It's freaky. It's almost like a simulation. I don't know.
Simulation theory might be showing up well today, as we're gonna have to see. Pure simulation theory would mean that this round is gonna go in the favor of FGP, and with Throne bombing in big, getting that pick on the Scuba Steve, opening things up. They get two, does trade out Vio for Throne, and now looks like Scouty went in super deep to try and get a pick, but Darty cleans that one up. The first cap going in the favor of FGP, but Rome, now they have the opportunity to try and re-push in here, and that's exactly what Darty's gonna do. He's gonna be trying to play the capture time fairly well. Draco standing on it to try to delay it as much as he possibly can, but he's not going to be able to delay it enough. As now a big bomb from him behind. Scuba Steve gets the drop onto Rave. Great stuff from Scuba Steve. I called him out earlier as someone who's going to go in big, and he has been so far, getting the key flanks in. Now we see all the soldiers going in so deep.
Man, Gadeli thought he could get away with it there, last second thing, but yeah, drop for drop, baby.
That is going to be a drop for drop, and that's what you need to see from your soldiers. Gadili maybe thinking that he could have used there, but regardless, when you have two soldiers in your face, you're kind of maybe liable to make a few mistakes. It's okay. Mig, however, doesn't make a mistake. He hits his dead onto Throne. We do see a soldier trying to push through the left side. That's going to be Scuba Steve taken down. So no soldiers, or one soldier down for each team right here. As once again, FGP, they want to try and get on the capture time, and they are going to be able to do so. Uber's a little bit in their favor, so Rome have to be a bit hesitant while trying to play this point. A nice few stickies from Mig and be able to take down Magic, allowing them to be a little bit more bolder here. Nice bomb from a soldier, does a lot of damage on the Rave. He didn't quite have yet, and the combined focus fire is going to be able to take him down. They get the capture time, they get the medic, and now Rome once again looking in a very good, comfortable position in this match.
Yeah, they collapse really well. Just again, that coordinated aggression that they seem to be doing well, but not really utilizing to its full potential on Sunshine. It's coming through here, and yeah, just absolutely melting this FGP side. Full Uber advantage. Rave died with 97% Uber. It's heartbreaking. You hate to see it. And now they're taking the fight on a plat. Kind of ill-advised. Now Darty catching out Draco, and it's a bit of a sack onto the Metro Cross. He does get the Uber out, but now they're down 3 as Strong gets cleaned up by Scumbag Steve. And now they're chasing deep. They want to make sure that they go into that spawn and not just build for free. And yeah, it will allow them to get a little bit more time off that clock.
Yeah, they will, as they only coming up to about a minute for Rome compared to the 2:30 that FGP have to try and will away. Definitely doable, but it's always going to be a lot harder, especially on a point that captures as fast as Bagel. As the soldiers bomb through, they do get in, but they're all so weak. They are going to barely stay alive, but the soldiers from Rome want to try and bomb in and take them down. They are going to stay alive. However, as the Uber comes in from FGP, Throne going to catch an escaping Frisbee, as it looks like Darty wants to try and come in. They don't have Uber just quite yet on the side of Rome, but that doesn't matter. Darty going to be able to take down an escaping Scouty. The point does capture in the favor of FGP, but that just means now they're going to have longer spawners. Frosty taking down Draco, goes in for a big bomb. They do get the Uber out from the side of Rome, but they're just going to be able to capture it right back up, and FGP are going to have to do it all over again. Yeah,
FGP Ubered across that point, but to their credit, I mean, Frisbee got a little bit caught out, but he had no health to really keep jumping out anyway. But yeah, Rome kited super well and were able to get back together and push back out with an Uber of their own. They got forced on point, but I mean, it's a little bit too little too late. Yeah, they got the Uber out, but now you lost 3 for it. 15 seconds left. You have to do an all or nothing push here to get something going. They have Uber to work with, but it's going to be cutting it really close here.
It is going to be cutting it close. We do see the soldiers bomb around. The scouts getting onto the point, doing anything they possibly can to get any cap time up for FGP. Scouty, they do have a little bit of it, but they can't stray too far away and chase too deep because they have to capture it up overtime in the favor of Rome. And now they only have to capture it up once, and they get the round. Now the Uber comes out from Rome. They're going in so deep here. They do take down the demo. No demo up for the side of FGP. Frosty gets a trade out on the Scuba Steve, but that's not going to be enough because Rome just stand on the point, capture it up, making it a 2-1 game. And they're looking so good right now, number one. Definitely showing why they picked this map.
Yeah, it was a little bit of slim pickings. I mean, they had to do what they had to do, but FGP just didn't really put themselves in a great position further down as the round kept going. And Gadeli popped that Uber off. They got the force again, but all they had to do is just stand up point with the un-Uber players and just shoot players as they come up. Because, I mean, you either shoot the un-Uber player or you shoot the Uber player, and it's like, oh, I mean, what can you do?
And speaking of shooting unubered players, there's going to be no Uber for FGP, as that's going to be a nice bomb from Frisbee and Scuba Steve to take down Rave AC. Now it's going to be a little bit of a scramble mode once again for FGP. We do see the soldiers bombing around, but not going to be able to get the right location onto Gadilli. They say that this late scout comes in. Gadilli so low, but Darty going to be able to keep him alive, take down Scouty. Scouty did so much damage
Did he
to
surf the
Gadilli.
scattergun?
Yeah, he did surf the scattergun.
Nice.
I think he actually surfed up the stairs as well
Yeah.
to safety. So great movement from
Nice.
Gadilli.
Yeah, really keeping himself alive, man. We saw on the scrim before this, Gadilli got down to low HP and survived with 5 HP in the scrim, man. He's no stranger to it. He can absolutely stay alive when he needs to in those clutch situations.
Definitely, as once again FGP, they have to try and figure out, but a big Uber coming in from the side of Rome. Actually, it's not that big. It doesn't really find much of anything at all. Now Rave is going to have Uber advantage, coming up to about 80% themselves, and FGP are going to be able to make their way forward. They had a trade which was in their favor because they don't have control of the point. Scouty gets another trade, but this time Rave goes down to some nice rockets from Scuba Steve, and now Rome just going to be able to clean up all these FGP players. They might get a few trades go their way, FGP, but that's not going to be what they wanted. They wanted the cap, and they wanted a nice Uber. Neither is going to happen as Frosty falls, and once again, that's going to be a minute off the clock for Rome, and no capture for FGP at all.
Yeah, getting absolutely stonewalled. FGP seems to be a little crumbling a little bit. You know, I hate to say it, but I'm seeing some cracks here. Rome's really coming out strong and showing why they picked this map. And yeah, I mean, not allowing a single cap in this third round really says a lot to that effect.
It does indeed. We're going to have to see if they're going to be able to keep up the dominant performance, Rome, or if FGP are going to be able to respond, as a minute 30 ticked down for Rome, so halfway there. But with Draco taking down Vio, that's going to be a great opening start for them. A lot of weak players on Rome. It looks like they're just going to be trying to all bomb in for Rave. A late soldier bomb. It does a lot of damage, but no one is going to fall on FGP. That's exactly what they needed. Now they have controlled the point. They're going to have Uber to help defend. Gadilli is going to be close to their own Uber, so it's going to be probably an even Uber situation, but regardless, an opportunity for FGP to get back into this round and into this game.
Yeah, and I see what they're trying to do is basically even Ubers. So I mean, you think, why would you send in the sack? But if they can keep forcing FGP into bad situations, especially going against Uber v no Uber, you know, that's something that they're willing to exploit.
Oh, but he's so low, and a nice flank from Frosty's going to take down Gadilli. He went down, I think, into single digits there, at least into the low teens, and because of that, he is going to have to use just to stay alive. Scouty going to be taking down Frisbee as he tries to push one of those doorways, one of those houses, and now Rome kind of all cajoled up on their side. They've got to think, well, how do we want to get this Uber out of Rave AC? They're going to be sending in a soldier. That's what they want to try and do. But Scuba, yeah, he got levitated right there. Nicer from Rave over to the health pack, and that is going to be a well-held Uber for FGP and a mid as well. So now the time is going to even up around about 127 apiece, and now it's going to be Vio up on the sniper.
Yeah, and I think FGP quickly put some epoxy into those cracks that I was seeing, and they're really holding out well here, bringing the time back down to even after getting stonewalled for so very long. And yeah, oh my god, just frags all around. Here comes the Uber in, aggressive Uber into Rome's spawn point, just absolutely going whole hog and holding nothing back. They're able to get 3 off of it, and yeah, a little bit more time off the clock, just putting that pressure in a spawn, allowing to get like, you know, 10-15 seconds more just by making sure they go into that spawn door and do not come out unless they get, you know, a whole bunch of damage thrown their way.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that one, but they do get a little bit more time. But the Uber from Rome is coming in deep, and a nice few stickies from Mig and be able to take down Rave there. A nice rocket as well from Frisbee, and they're just gonna be trying to clean up all of these FGP players, but the FGP players are cleaning them up instead. Scouty, Frosty, and Throne just all coming up huge in the latter stages of that fight, and Gadilli going down fairly early there, even though he did go down later. He responds around the same time as Rave, so it is gonna be an even Uber situation because they didn't have control of the point, but they kept control of the point. That's going to be FGP, and because of it, there's only 15 seconds left on the clock for them to make this a tie game yet again, number one.
Yeah, and as 10 seconds ticks down, FGP comes out to defend this point. Frosty going to kill Scumbag Steve, but 2 down for FGP, and one of them is Draco, their demo, so that's a huge pick to be down to demo, especially on a map like Bagel. And here comes the bomb in from Fuzzy to make sure that they back up. Magic almost getting caught out, but will escape, and so will Rave with 70% Ubers, so even Ubers, they could come back out and try to finish this one off. And yeah, I think this is for the first time we've seen like a real attempt at it. Nope, never mind. I was going to say they're going for the forward hold, but nothing doing now as Frosty clears away for his team. Dilly jumping up onto the point. Now a 5-man on this plat as they walk out to take the fight to Rome. Here they come across the point. Uber popped off. Magic and Draco going across, actually getting quickly backed up as the counter Uber popped out. And Magic taking down Mig in the meantime. So now they're down a demo, trying to fight over this point now as Uber's fade. Jump comes in from Scumbag Steve, gets taken down. Frisbee trying to salvage as well, but nothing doing in a wipe, meaning it's going to be tied up 2-2. Yeah, FGP and Rome.
Very, very close. Even though it didn't amount to much, Frisbee with a nice bomb there to take down the medic in the demo. At least that'll be represented in the logs, you know, at the bare minimum. You can say, you know, I did my part, even though it didn't amount to a held round. But like you said, even game right now. Rome looking a lot better on their map pick, all things considered, but FGP making it a very close and even fight as we enter into the halfway mark of this match. The soldiers bombing in, going to try and connect onto Rave. They do successfully find their mark as there's only going to be 3 left alive. One of them is going to be Cadilli trying to run away to safety. Throne not going to be able to find the pig. Darty doing well to protect their medic there as they going to be able to stay well and alive with the help of Mig. And now, even though they capture up the point, FGP have got to figure out how they're going to defend it against this incoming Uber.
Yeah, and they did the same exact strat that they did last time. Both soldiers in quick on the medic on that plat near alley and just collecting him and making sure that Cadilli has the early Uber advantage. And they lose the point first, but full Uber advantage is nothing to sneeze at. Oh, but not if you drop it to Draco's pipes. I mean, then it's just all for nothing. Screw it, man. Who cares?
And now, Rome have got to try and do of their own format. It was FGP who were trying to do one of their own, but now the tables have turned. Darty is hiding in a bush. I don't know if they spot him. They're trying to search around for him. He does get to jump on the Magic, but I don't think Magic knew where he was. I think that was pure, like, that's a pretty ingenious hiding spot from Darty there. Unfortunate he wasn't able to get a pick from it, but a still really, really great stuff from Draco to get that drop onto Cadilli. Unfortunate for Cadilli there, as now that has put Rome in the unfavorable position of trying to get onto Rave, which they do feel can be able to connect the scattergun shots and take him down. So they have been able to manufacture Uber advantage for themselves once again. But, you know, last time they weren't able to get onto the point with it. This time they definitely have to do so because it's already a minute 30 on the clock for FGP.
Yeah, and another drop for drop situation here. I hope that doesn't become the norm because, man, I would be eating my hair if I were either of these medics dropping at a moment like this. This is absolutely tense. I mean, it's 2-2, right? And if Rome loses this, they're out. So yeah, you gotta start realizing, man, you gotta pop it, not drop it in some of these situations. But it means your team's gonna be faring a lot better early in the round now as the Uber is forced out by Cadilli, and they're gonna finally get some time ticking off of this clock for the first time this round.
Yeah, they are. They do capture up the point. Looks like FGP want to try and come back in here. They are going to trade out one, but a nice bow is going to be able to take down Frosty. Trades are going either which way a little bit better, a lot better for FGP considering that they have player ad and they don't own the point and they have Uber ad, so now Throne is going to be bombing forward. He makes a bit of space for his team. Scouty just going to try and play the edge of it, get as much cap time as he possibly can without having to use it. Might be able to get out without using at all. Nice stickies from Draco. Connecting onto View. He was trying to deny that point for as long as possible. Gonna die because of it. And Cadilli staying alive there, meaning that Ubers are swiftly going to become even. But once again, a time in the favor of FGP. It looks like they've been able to respond to what Rome were doing and have been looking a lot stronger in these past few rounds.
Yeah, Uber exchange coming out. They decided to do the old soldier in the doorway Uber exchange with Frosty in there, and now Uber's fading and FGP retreating back to their side. No worse for wear. Rome is down Frisbee, and Scumbag Steve's pretty ripped as well, so he's going to get hit up before he makes any plays. But Frosty and Throne coming up and making plays with their own with the help of Scotty, of course, taking down Gadilli and Mig in the meantime. And Draco has some pipes of his own for Darty. And down 3 and a pause, and I can only imagine what this insinuates.
Yes, I can only imagine as well. I think that means that a 20B Street Hoops have made their grand return and are filling in for one of the teams. I think that is what the pause obviously means, you know. Yeah, yeah. But I think, you know, we can hazard a guess and say it's probably Rome maybe losing the round and they got to figure out how things are going. And if even if that's not it, we can still try and analyze, you know, what's kind of going wrong for Rome because they were looking pretty good
It's the
in
drops,
those.
honestly. It's the
That's true.
drops. It's I mean, it's 2 drop for drops, and I mean, Rome obviously has more to lose. So, I mean, you gotta like Gadilli's good at being low health, but I mean, he's got to realize, man, sometimes it's better to just pop it and see what you get rather than just dropping in the heat of a battle that you really should not be losing
Yeah,
or
and
can't afford to lose.
that's definitely true, and, you know, I think it is definitely a little bit of the dropping, but, I also think that it's just it's kind of when the drops happen, it feels like
Yeah,
whenever kind of a drops happen, because you know, I don't know if Rave has dropped as much, but he's definitely died, like, a
I
fair few times, whether it's due
think
to
it's
yeah,
2 to
Scuba
2.
Steve or, um, something like that, but it just feels like whenever Gadilli dies, it's just, like, at worse
Yeah,
moments than when
exactly.
Rave is doing it, and it's just a little bit more unfortunate. So definitely kind of fixing that and keeping an eye out on. I don't even think it's necessarily the flanks. Sometimes it's the flanks, but it just seems like it's the team aggression will just swarm in. Everyone on FGP will just kind of all amass forward at the same time and just kind of overwhelm Rome just a little bit. But you know, on the flip side of things, Scuba Steve has been popping off, doing a lot of work, and I think what was kind of working well for Rome was getting on to the point, and they were doing really well at just kind of denying and forcing FGP in these unadvantageous positions. However, it was so they got to try and kind of lock down all of these flanks and kind of lock down the point a little bit better.
Indeed, and yeah, it Scumbag Steve is definitely popping up the way you said he would. Glad to see that, but I just keep coming back to these Ubers because, yeah, like we've said, you know, there are times, of course, in TF2 where it's like not the worst thing to drop. Like it doesn't look good on your stats. It's a little bit embarrassing as a medic, but I mean, there are times where it's like, okay, I mean, didn't really need Uber. You know, it's fine. But yeah, Gadilli's just dropping in these moments where it's just like, just you need to have invulnerability there, dude. You can't afford to be dropping in these situations. And you know, the drop for drop is good, but on the flip side, Rave is sort of dropping when he can afford to because there's no counter Uber to come out of. So I mean, if they can have the point capped and time ticking down and they drop Uber, so be it.
Yeah, and you know, obviously on any King of the Hill map, it is extremely chaotic, especially on Bagel, which has its own challenges. Because even though you don't have the constant threat of a sniper as you would on Product, and we are going live, it does give its own difficulties just to bombing soldiers. As we do see one of those bombing soldiers, it is going to be Scuba Steve. Does a lot of damage actually onto the aforementioned Rave. As we do see Frisbee going in late, is going to be able to take down Rave as well. So there's their response to kind of our criticisms. You know, if you can't keep your medic alive, just kill the other medic, which seems to be what they've done. As now FGP, they're just trying to see if they can do anything to get on to Gadilli. Gadilli does go down. That's so unfortunate. He does die there, as still Rome should be able to capture up the point, but with their medic dying down so late, they're going to have to wait into the overtime to wait for him to respawn because of the fact that if you control the point, your team respawns slower.
Indeed, and Rave is sitting on Uber advantage. If I'm Gadilli's on crits actually. Interesting. And yeah, Rave AC is on 50% Uber. Gadilli's on 40 crits. So I don't know how the math's really going to work out here. They absolutely built the crap out of this. It could work, but if they got pressure in the face of form of FGP coming out of plat, I don't think you're going to be able to have time to get that crits up in time against that Uber, especially when it's a slight Uber advantage. And yeah, just like that, FGP is really asserting dominance over the point, and they've got players all over it. And Scotty's just going to be air blasting people off the point, reflecting projectiles. And here comes the Uber, and don't even really need it. FGP gets the third round, and it's potentially match point here.
It is indeed match point, at least for FGP. It could potentially, it's not quite for Rome. They got to win at least 2 more rounds if they want to try and stay in this. And if they don't, that is going to be their invite season over. They're going to be going out in 7th place. So both of these teams fighting to stay in it. If FGP loses this, they got 1 more map to try and take it in this best of 3. They won the first one. Can they win the second one, or can Rome find it within themselves to come back and make sure that all roads do indeed at least lead to a 3rd map, as these soldiers bombing in, doing a lot of damage onto the demo. He goes down fairly weak. Scouty goes down weak as well. Frisbee is going to collect that kill onto Scouty and is going to be able to stay alive here. So a soldier for a scout, okay way to open things up, but importantly for them, they were able to capture up to point. Now Vio just going to be trying to block it as FGP trying to get onto it. They are going to be able to take down Vio, so once again, they get a lot of cap tone. They might be able to get in Magic, maybe in a position to try and take an Uber exchange. Both medics use it exactly at the same time. Rave is just going to have to walk back to Draco because he went down very low there. Was that at risk of maybe getting dropped in that Uber, but FGP, they recapture up the point. They get a lot of positioning here on to this round, but Legacy is going to be able to be taking down Draco. Trades out Frosty, taken down as well, and it looks like it's a little bit better for FGP. Vio, however, up on the sniper.
Indeed, and yeah, Rome got the cap first, took about 32 seconds off of it, but then that Uber exchange was just anything but favorable, so they had to back up into seed positioning to FGP, and it allowed them to take the dominant position and come out and really work it.
Yeah, and now Rome, they have a lot of time on the point. No Ubers just quite up, so they can play this a bit safely, but with Vio going down and the Uber from FGP coming up soon, they have to be fairly careful here. They are at a little bit of Uber disap, but they're still going to have to try and play it regardless. Nice connected spam onto Magic. Rockets from Scuba Steve hitting the target, and they are going to get the point in the midst of all of that. Ubers are going to be even, and that has meant that we might see a little bit of a trade for the point here. That's going to be Scouty just running in super deep. He's going to be able to take down Mig before the Uber has been used. The FGP, they do get the point, so now the question is, can they keep everyone alive?
Yeah, no, Mig got kind of left out to dry by his medic there, but I mean, it was kind of a positioning thing. It's not really so much negligence on the part of Gadilli, but either way, it's not ideal, and then he gets forced off last second, and Vio almost got caught out and ran across the point without the support of his medic. And yeah, looking like FGP still has the cap locked up, still in their favor, which is nice, but Rome has something to say about it, but Draco's going to be a little bit annoying, but he could get caught out here if he's not careful, and Frisbee coming in. It's Comeback Steve over the top as well, and Draco does finally go down, and now they're backing out of their house. Soldiers causing chaos! Frisbee going big, but not enough to take down Rave AC. Liz with 33 HP, 80% Uber to his name, so slight Uber advantage. Let's see if they can work something out and try to get the point back here as they come in through alley.
And they are going to do so. Frosty leading the charge, just opening things up for his team. Rave is so weak, almost immediately is going to have to use from that bomb from Scuba Steve. Any one rocket would have killed him there, thrown, taken down the Scuba man. Not Scuba, what's that game? Scuba Dan?
Scuba Steve. That's why you're saying it, I thought.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, I was definitely saying that because of that. But the Uber just come out from Rome, going in deep. But Gadilli, he doesn't meet anyone at all. He gets taken down on the point. A disastrous Uber for Rome. Now, can they try and salvage this? We do see Frisbee going in, but he gets shot down by Magic and Scouty. Now we do see Scumbag Steve Roman around here is going to be out. And to the rest of his squad, Ubers in the favor of FGP. And once again, as the time whittles away, this is do or die for them. If they lose this round, their invite season is over, #1. So they got to convert.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, these soldiers, this is one thing I'm noticing, is that they're really good, but they got to be a little bit more sneaky because both sets of scouts on these teams are super good. And you know, most of the time we're seeing them jump in, they're just getting absolutely levitated. So they got to be a little bit more clever and trying to find the space that they need to get. Now Zebra's popped off for FGP. Draco, a magic chase and deep into the house. Cadilli gonna live with about 80% Uber coming back in almost right away with Vio onto Plat now. Magic getting the kill on the Frisbee in the meantime over. Big bombs and fades all over from the red soldiers. Scumbag Steve almost getting caught out, but they're looking a little bit uncoordinated right now. Just trying to go for whatever's in front of them, trying to get the kills, but they're just scattering so well that they're not really coming up with anything. And now they pop off the Uber, but it's not ideal. It is so far from ideal. They get the point, but Rave AC with Uber advantage. Diego does take down Magic in the meantime, but here comes the re-aggression from Frosty, and it's actually looking like a bit of a crumble from them as well. So I mean, it's a bit of a slog, a bit of a
Frisbee
scramble.
Ooh, Frisbee had an opportunity, but a nice arrow from Rave is going to keep himself alive. Like he said earlier, medics fragging, and a very crucial frag for Rave, because if he doesn't hit that shot, Frisbee might have had a great opportunity to take him down and give his team a fairly solid hold, because there's only sub 30 seconds left for each team here in this potentially last round. If FGP converted, Cadilli going down is definitely what you're going to want to see if you're an FGP fan, or if you're FGP Throne getting that pick, and they're going to be able to get onto the point. So even though no Ubers are really going to come into play for either team, it's just the heal advantage. In the meantime, the soldiers going to be bombing in. That's going to be Scuba Steve. Darty goes down early to a nice rocket from Frosty, and now they have to get onto the point if they wanted to try and stay here. Vio going to be trying to play just a little bit, but the scouts and Pyro again, Scouty going to be trying to play this Pyro to just knock people off the cap does come in, and the soldiers as well. Scuba Steve coming up so huge, gonna be taking down almost everyone. Only 10 seconds left, and this should be around for Rome. It's only gonna be Frosty and Draco in any position to really try and do anything. They are gonna try and bomb onto the point. Draco does do a bit of damage, and it's gonna be 3, 2, 3 down to the wire. I said 4-3 in the favor of Rome, so I'm going to be half right either way. Question is it going to be FGP or is it going to be Rome in the second map of the best of 3?
And yeah, the soldiers collapsed onto the blue plat really well, and just, I mean, Rave, all he could do was just look to the left, look to the right, and realize he was screwed. Nothing he can do. And yeah, I mean, as far as being clever, it kind of helps when the enemy team is clever for you and there's no scouts really on the field to deny those soldier bombs, because like I said, they're so lethal. And actually FGP with a quick double bomb of their own, copying the same strat of Rome, comes out to their advantage to take down Cadilli, but both soldiers will die in the process. All they have to do now is just keep Rave alive. Who needs the cap when you have Uber advantage, right? And here comes the bomb in from Frisbee. Will go down to Scouty, and yeah, it's Uber advantage for FGP, and they get the point right back. Not even 10 seconds gone. So yeah, I think that's a gamble that paid off in FGP's favor almost right out of the gate.
It is indeed. Is a now FGP going to try and mount their defenses. Getting an early pick onto Mig is definitely a great way to start it, and getting another one onto Vio is a great way to extend it. Now, you know, it's not going to be too bad for Rome because they do have the faster respawners, so that's really only going to set them up maybe 7 seconds back, and they're building anyways, so but that is time that they could have sent in a 4-man, and their 4-mans have been pretty good, all things considered. So definitely something that they might have lost out on. Now with Cadilli already at 70%, they might feel that it's just better to wait, but no, with a soldier bombing in, they're definitely not waiting. They do get the force out. Really great stuff from Frisbee and Scuba Steve. Mig does go down in the backlines there. Vio gonna come up on Sniper just to try and help protect their spawn a little bit. He's actually gonna be poking down towards right, but you know, like we said, kind of those 4-mans, those kind of aggressive plays from Rome are what they need if they want to try and stay in here, because they did win that last round, but they gotta win this one if they want to not get knocked out of Invite.
Yeah, it's about as even as it can get here, as even as you like it. So, I mean, I hope you like biting your nails and sitting on the edge of your seat, because, I mean, this is it right here. Now is Rome taking the aggression out. Frosty getting the kill in the backlines on Scumbag Steve. Uber is popped out by Cadilli. Vio going to pick up Draco as the Uber fades. Rave AC sitting about 70% Uber advantage, but no demo for Rome. And Cadilli getting chased down by Throne and the Scouts. And huge bomb. Frosty gets cleaned up in house, and Throne sitting on 1 HP himself. So, I mean, a little bit of a tit for tat, actually ending up to be more in Rome's favor as they get the point down. 2 minutes 50 and counting. It's Scumbag Steve getting the big flank on the Rave AC. Dies with 95% Uber. and that is not what you need as FGP. They thought they had that one in the bag, but a little bit of a trickle feed, trying to extend for those frags on a roam, going to end up biting him in the ass. Here now is Cadilli going to be sitting with a 50% Uber advantage, and the time ticking down in their favor, but FGP has about a minute left.
Yes, as it is going to be extremely close. It's always fun to see people take the kind of airlift, but they are going to be going so they can rotate around. Frosty just bomb in. He does a bit of damage to Cadilli. Now we see Draco going in. He's going to be shot down out of the sky. Great stuff from the scouts there to keep their medic alive, which they desperately need. Can they get onto Rave? AC is trying to run back. Oh, and Vio is going in so deep, doing exactly what his team needs of him. Now, they are going to be able to get onto Vio, and you can already see he's got an 18-second respawn time, so they're going to be able to do something without a scout on the field, which is definitely needed because Cadilli has 100%, Rave has 0%. Actually, it's about 15%, but in the grand scheme of things, not what FGP want. And now they're going to be trying to force their way out to right here, number one.
Yeah, I mean, what's 20% between friends? And now here comes Frosty getting the aggression on with the help of Draco. Uber is popped off. So what you like to see as FGP, but time is about to reach parity here, and Rome could take the lead if nothing is done. And yeah, FGP is going to have to wait for their spawners to come to do anything. 60% Uber and ticking. Cadilli desperately trying to build his Uber up in time, trying to get something going before that inevitable push comes in. And here comes Frosty clearing the way for his team onto Plat as they all trickle out, taking some spam. And here comes Scumbag Steve onto the face of Brave AC, but ooh, cleaned up just in time by Scouty. And here comes Throne from the other way, taking down Mig. And Scouty taking out Vio. 3 down for Rome as the big bomb comes over the head of Brave AC in the form of Frisbee. Gonna force off that Uber, but I mean, nothing he can really do. But they will get the cap back down. A minute 20 left for them, as compared to the 50 seconds left for Rome. So it's real tit for tat, and it's coming down to the wire every which way in terms of frags, in terms of time on the clock, in terms of the rounds played. I mean, what more could you want?
I know, it is extremely close. Rome, they do have Uber add to work with in here, and their soldiers are going to be trying to make some space. Good stuff from Frisbee, just leading the charge here. Frosty, he gets the drop onto Cadilli. That's Cadilli taken down. And now a great opportunity for FGP to stay in this, but it's not all over for Rome at all. They do have the player ad for the moment, so they're going to be able to capture up the point, all things considered. We do have a little bit of a fight in that house area. Scuba Steve and Scouty just kind of going at it, and the Scouty going to be winning the better of that one. And now this is definitely going to help them hold on to this point. They are going to have Uber in just a few seconds. Rome have to try and do something if they want to stay into this match here. The Uber does come out from FGP. How successful is it going to be? Cadilli might be able to stay alive just for a little bit, and he is going to do so. Not going to be enough time for him to get his own Uber because there's only going to be 10 seconds left on the clock for Rome if they want to stay in, then keep their invite playoffs run alive. Going to be trying to get in through this right side. Soldier bombing does a lot of damage on the Rave AC. That's going to be one pick down, but they're not close to the point. Legacy, Darty trying to make a play for it. He does get taken down. It's only going to be Mig and the help of a bombing soldier. They do get some time onto the point. It's just going to be a scrap battle either which way. Frisbee, can he hit the shots? He does have a help from the respawner Vio, and the spawners are so much quicker. They are going to capture it up. They delay their demo. 50 seconds that they got to hold it, number one.
Oh man, and just the trend continues. Just really another unfortunate drop from Cadilli that they couldn't afford to take. But they do have the position advantage for the meantime, but Cadilli does go down almost immediately. But some frags from Rome shining a little bit of light on the situation. 3 dead, just thrown. Scouty and Rave
get on the
line, but here comes the cap. Oh my god, if they're not careful, this could end very quickly. Vio going down. Actually, no, he does go down to the end of Throne, but Scumbag Steve coming in to save the day, and now it's just a staring match between the two soldiers. Scumbag Steve with the height advantage, and here comes the Spire MGE. Practice Throne does die to the crater, but he gets the frag that he needs, and just like that, 4-3. Your prediction was 100%. Well, actually, no, not wrong. 50%. I'm mixing up the teams. 50% right, but oh man, it's 100% what FGP wanted, man. Any way they can take it, because it means that they knocked out Rome and they're going to move on.
They are going to move on. So that is Rome's invite season finish. They go out in 7th place. Fairly respectable, all things considered. You know, they had a fairly good season, I think. You know, they made a good few great plays, but also great for FGP because that guarantees them at least, I think 6th seed, even if they lose their next match against a whoever it is. I'd assume it's against GCI, but I don't quite know. But we do have a bunch of people waiting to get interviewed, and I guess yeah, if you check the interview waiting room.
Oh dear. Who invited them?
All right. All right, we will have an interview with your winners, FGP, Freedom Guild People, or whatever it stands for.
Freaking Guild people.
Yeah, oh, whatever it stands for in here in just a second. We also got a representative of Darty. Do you want to get them in here? Or do you want to go over there,
Nah, screw those
Mr.
guys.
Production Man? Okay. All right.
Did you lose? Wait.
All right. All right. So, congratulations, guys, on your win against Rome and Darty. Commiserations for your loss against FGP. I guess first off, guys, how does it feel to guarantee yourself 6 in invite? If even if you lose the next match, you will go out in 6th place. And what were you guys expecting for this matchup against Rome?
Is that
Rome is
true?
trash.
Floor
Are we
GP.
confirmed 6?
Floor GP. Floor GP.
Yeah, we're the floor.
Yeah, I'm just happy. My goal, like obviously, first season of Invite for like all of us to like not get last is pretty cool. And then we didn't even get second to last either. So,
Yeah,
and
Jesus.
I knew it'd be a close game against Rome too, but yeah, I was not feeling good about Bagel, but we pulled it out. So that felt pretty awesome.
Super fun game against Rome. I had a great time.
All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess when it comes down to the maps, you guys were probably fairly comfortable on Sunshine. Did you expect them to pick Bagel? They had played well on Bagel
Yes.
against you earlier in the season. And did you guys like scrim it or have any strategies prepared for it?
No.
Yeah, we scrimmed it and then got 0-3'd,
It
and
was
then that was it.
kind of the same thing as Metalworks, basically.
We're a very
Last time we
unprepared
played
team.
Rome.
I'm glad it wasn't sultry, I will say.
I don't think we're that bad at Sultry, but you know.
We're pretty bad. But whatever. We clutched up.
Yesterday I had a bit of a technical issue, so we didn't even get any good scrims
Yeah,
on
we had
Bagel.
to sub out Rave on Bagel because his keyboard suddenly stopped working after a sudden drop.
Yeah.
Something happened, I don't know.
Damn, that is a bit weird, but I guess we can also talk to Darty, the sole member from Rome. I guess your invite season, if I hear correctly, is at least over for now. I guess a few things. How do you feel about this invite season with your team Rome? Do you think you guys did everything you possibly could? Do you think there's maybe a little bit more you guys could have given? And also, looking forward to next season. Are you going to be playing an invite next season? What are your plans? And I guess just reflect on your time so far.
Well, for this match, I think that we definitely could have done obviously a lot better. But it was a good match. I think honestly, just looking back, I think that this season has been like, I mean, it's been good. Getting my reps in, as you would say. Just practicing for the next season. I'm hoping to, still be an invite next season and mayhaps perchance play against FGP again and give them my little beat down.
Darty, you should double backstab and rejoin FGP.
Whoa.
Thoughts?
Assuming
Boy.
Scotty won't
Wait, you can
Is
play
that on
demo.
that
You can play
card?
demo.
You're actually just
my demo!
You're so fair weather, dude. It's crazy.
No, but yeah, like, I feel like the Rome definitely has, my team has like the energy. We definitely will come back next season with power. Let's just say. So
Oh, really?
don't
Is there
underestimate
is
the
there
power.
beast mode happening? Hold on.
Don't underestimate Rome.
Are we going to see more of the darkness next season?
Let's just say shadows are being casted above RGL right now.
Holy smokes.
After that,
Gulp.
Yeah.
afraid. Very afraid.
Well, that's a little warning out there, I guess, for all potential invite players out there. You got to be afraid of whatever is brewing from the Rome camp, specifically Darty. But I guess one thing I want to talk about on Bagel, because that was such a close back and forth map. It seemed like there were like a few times there were kind of like a few kind of noticeable swings in a momentum from both of your guys' teams. It feel like you guys would get a couple rounds, and then the other team would get a couple of rounds. Was there anything that kind of led to those swings in momentum? Were there kind of moments where you thought, okay, they're doing this, we got to do that, or was it just kind of go with the flow, get the picks as you get them?
Now we had some trouble with their double moms, and so we were like, well, what if we kite top left, which is what happened one of the mids on Bagel, and then we were just like, well, fuck it, what if we just like ball and just go forward, and so then that worked.
The pause theory. Both teams won a round after a pause.
It is actually crazy. The pause theory works for exactly one round.
I was forced to play disciplined after that pause. Something terrible happened.
We had to keep scouting
And
line.
whipped him into shape, bro.
Whoosh.
Just get back on combo, bitch.
Well, that's crazy. You did that, Magic. That's actually crazy.
Yo, Darty, any reason you guys chose Bagel? Other than just like the fact that you guys beat us in the regular season?
I mean, honestly, we're just very confident that like it's just our comfort map, honestly. Like it was really comfortable. Like just we thought it would be comfortable playing on that map. And from that last match, we felt like, we're kind of goated at the little forward hold, so we thought we just do that, always get our forward holds, we'd be solid, and looked like it was. But it all crumbled. Alas, me boy.
Guys, it's third map. Witness Gaming versus GCF.
You good, bro.
Ooh. Well, that is definitely something you guys should maybe check over in a couple of minutes after we end this interview. But I guess any questions for you, number one, real quick?
Nah. Congrats and hi, Frosty.
Hey.
Y'all are weird.
What the fuck?
Raising you up on stream.
Okay. With that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up this interview with the members from FGP and Darty of Rome. Darty, congratulations on your season. I hope you guys come back even better next season and show whatever is brewing over the top of Invite and rain hell down on your enemies. Whether that's FGP or not, it can be exciting to see. I guess we can start with the shout outs, starting with you, Darty.
Well, shout out my team. Really happy that they picked me up and gave me the opportunity to play an invite. Shout out FGP. It was I'll say, grueling match, but a good match nevertheless. Shout out Fireside J. Shout out production. Really good stuff that you guys do every time. It's always a banger. And shout out Yube. That's my boy.
Yo, Yube.
All right. Draco, any shout outs you want to give?
My team, Rome, Darty. It's kind of funny, just like beating him. That's about it.
All right, Frosty.
Shout out Darty for hitting me 80 and 6 shots when I bombed his medic.
Damn, bro.
That's all I have to say.
Damn. All right, Magic.
Shout out Fireside. Shout out FGP and Rome. Not shout out to RGL. I think they need to get better at basically everything. Step it up.
Oh my god.
Shout out to all my Twitch viewers. They're very cool. That's it.
All right, Rave.
Shout out to Just Jazz because he begged. Shout out to my team. I had fucking, as much as I hate them, I really like playing with them. So I may call them bad, but that's just because I'm mad. And shout out to like this past invite season. So it was really fun.
All right, Scouty.
Shout out Logitech G Pro Wireless for coming in today.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, maybe a future sponsorship for you guys. Throne shoutouts.
Shout out my team. Shout out the casters and production. All the viewers, even though everyone's watching the Freyotech game. You should definitely show
Something
maybe
witness.
the logs, maybe. That'd be cool, but you don't have to.
Oh yeah, those
but
logs
yeah.
do go kind of crazy.
I'm really glad we won. That was our Super Bowl because I don't want to be emo, but we're probably not going to win our next game.
Listen,
So
man,
we
we're
really wanted to
playing,
win that
like-
one, so I'm happy.
We're either playing Freyotech or Dark Knights. So like,
Yeah, GG.
like I don't know, man.
It's also finals week.
Yeah, it is finals
True.
week next week. I'm not gonna be able to fucking.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think you guys are playing the loser, of Witness Gaming versus Global Clan Fire.
It should be a little bit more fun though.
Hey,
I'm sure.
next week, Tcmano.
Ooh, this is gonna be a
Looking
close
forward
one.
to a 5-0 instead of a 5-0.
Yeah, you guys 5-0ing them, but
Yeah.
either way, that's gonna be it for us here tonight. Number one, any final comments you want to give?
Well, yeah, Throne ain't lying. 40 frags on that last map. Pretty huge. Pretty
Thank
huge.
you. Thank you.
But not other than that, I'm good. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And yeah, hopefully I'll be here for the next one. Other than that, shout outs to the usual suspects of production and you.
Yeah, all right. And that's going to wrap things up. My quick shout outs are going to be FGP for winning. They played phenomenally tonight. Always great to cast their matches. A non-biased caster here, not that I'm on their roster. Also, shout outs to Rome. I think they had a phenomenal season so far. I'm very excited to see what they do in the next invite season where they stay together and reform as something greater and, really take it. It's going to be exciting to see. Shout outs to the merch that both of those teams have. Do FGP in chat or Rome. You can still get it, I believe. So check it out if you were impressed by anything these teams did tonight. Help support them, Rome, for their upcoming land costs and FGP. Just because they got a cool sticker. Why not go for it? Shout outs to Dr_1. Dr_ always putting in the great production work. Number one, it's great to cast with you again, my friend.
Likewise.
And as well, all of you guys for watching. And that's going to be it for us here at Fireside. It was FGP versus Rome. FGP winning, advancing into invite playoffs just a little bit further. See how far they go next time on Fireside. Good
So
night.
yeah.
See you.
All right.